Hello and welcome to Quests and Queers Episode 1 Official. We are a Dungeons and Dragons live stream, game stream. We aren't live yet, but we will be soon. Stay tuned. We are a Dungeons and Dragons live stream focused on LGBTQ, etc., plus all of the alphabet, players, stories, and characters. If you're watching or listening to this, thank you for watching our additional content at the beginning of our stream. We love all of our followers. Technically, we're filming this in advance, so that number is currently 0.
All people who play this podcast.
Yeah. 96 followers. They're all 7. They're all in the room.
Fucking Kevin.
We will be live streaming eventually onto twitch.tv/quests and queers. We will also be on YouTube Live and probably a few other things. And we will be available as Quests and Queers, the audio podcast. As we get more following, we'll also introduce like an after show where we can talk about the game and just sort of hang out a little more socially, out of character. So Quests and Queers may contain mature subject matter, fantasy violence, and hopefully some coarse language. If those things might upset you, viewer discretion is advised, or listener discretion if you're listening.
Yeah, Jim.
Quests and Queers is in partnership with Toronto Gamers, a local LGBTQ not-for-profit looking to connect nerdy queers through video games, board games, and of course, Dungeons and Dragons.
Woohoo! Yeah!
Woo! Music for Quests and Queers is provided quite generously by Foxamore, and you can get all of his music on Bandcamp. And our tech today is Danny. Thank you, Danny. My name is Mark. You may know me as RK from my YouTube show, Culturally Effed, and today I will be playing as Egreth Bloodmaw. Egreth is tall, overbearing, with tufts of white-gray fur, speckling her head and haunch. Most unfamiliar with the Gnoll, first thinks she's very male and masculine presenting, but this doesn't bother her, as she understands that Gnoll are very alien. She dons orcish armor with a fierce hyena faceplate that acts as a mask in areas less friendly to Gnolls. That is Egreth Bloodmaw.
Cool. Hi, I'm Jackie. I go by he or him pronouns. I'm playing tonight Aisha. She is a half-elf warlock. She's got really pale skin, tied ponytails, black hair, always dresses in gold or white silk noble attire, and has a crystal skull.
Hello, my name is Brett. I'm the GM and I will be playing God. I am everywhere and nowhere. That's it.
I'm Ada. My pronouns are they or she. And I'm going to be playing First Protector Lasgra, daughter of Kagra, third heir to the Tower of Mystics, and keeper of the Shattered Star. She is a hobgoblin wizard. She's got deep blue skin, black hair tied back into a tight bun, and you can't really see much from below her spiked sort of Dracula collar because it's all just a huge cloak made up of hundreds of small panels of sort of spider silk gossamer. And she also has an amulet around her neck composed of a bobcat skull gripping a sort of glass crystal looking orb in its mouth. And she is flanked by her 2 retainers and her apprentice, Shoal Relar, who is a goblin wizard. And he really goes hard with the wizard aesthetic, big tome with pages falling out and all that, pointed wizard hat, etc.
Hello, I am Charlie. I go by he and she pronouns, and I am playing Rubalux the Red, who goes by he pronouns. Rubalux is a red dragonborn paladin, smaller than the norm but just as voracious. Following the goddess of beauty, he wears ornate armors and cloths. His colors are silver, gold, and blues. Let's see here. The cape he wears on his back tapers in the center, and it bears 2 feathered wings. His eyes are vivid from blue eyeshadow below his eyes and false, thick eyelashes.
Okay, so my name is Maverick. My pronouns are they, them. I am playing Ravano, whose race is redacted and class also redacted. They use they or he pronouns. They're a pillar of black armor at 6'5" with no skin exposed. They wear like a chainmail cowl, but still peeking out is like some luxurious black hair with like a gray forelock, very stylish. They wear an acid-etched black mask with no apertures for mouth or nose, but these endless dark eye holes. They are often seen wearing a black tabard with a silver balance that is bisected from left to right with a diagonal slash. They carry a fanfare trumpet and a black longsword, and they are ready to rock! So am I.
Holy shit.
All right, so please recap us. Where did we leave off in the mysterious episode 0?
Yes, I forgot to mention on my previous introduction that I go by he pronouns.
I also go by he pronouns.
That was a mistake that I did. So, lastly on Quests and Queers. The group was entrapped inside a cell inside of Harkin Castle, just outside of Lakereach. All their past lives kind of point and verge on the inside of this cell. You were joined by Finnegan, as well shortly thereafter, who seemed to grow rather large spikes out of his arm that continued throughout the rest of the episode with him. He's really anxious. Escaping the cell, you managed to find a collection of blood samples that were composed of various creatures. Fae, Daemon-like, other mysterious monsters and creatures, as well as some samples and resemblance of your own. Night Shadow also managed to find her rather oddly colored blood that was present. You also managed to make it in just past an encounter with a nightmare. You managed to make it into a room where you discovered kind of a shorthand library, and you discovered some things right off the bat. You noticed some glyphs. You managed to investigate into some of the books that were present. I believe Night Shadow found a couple of the books that were there. You managed to discern through the glyphs inside of the room and just outside of the room that there seems to be some kind of connection between on the glyphs that were present. There seemed to be some inscriptions that were both gnomish and Feywild and infernal, almost in connection to each other. Upon leaving the dungeon, you went on, after facing I think it was a helmed horror, which you guys managed to narrowly escape. Then again, sent it away practically to the Shadow Realm, where
Hard cards!
yeah, hard cards, man. And immediately after that, you managed to get outside of the room to find a large black corridor. You saw very quickly an orc just run past you and break through another wall, telling you to seek active shelter. During that time, you stayed with him, and he managed to get a little bit more roughed up with Finnegan. And at the last possible moment, he revealed himself to be an imp and teleported with Finnegan away. You all now, currently, are inside the barricaded room just after Finnegan has vanished from your sight. You all stand beleaguered, confused, and now devoid of a Finnegan. Your beloved, anxious, incredibly uncomfortable human that is slowly turning into a demon. So that's swell.
How many of you are imps? Reveal thyselves!
I don't think.
Last time I checked, I'm still pretty.
Shoal. No.
I'm fine.
I'm no imp.
Yeah.
Where have you taken him? Where?
We have to get out of this hellhole.
Man.
Castle sucks.
Yeah. They took our blood and everything. Come on. I hate this place.
So how do we proceed?
We have to get Finnegan.
Do we?
We swore to protect him.
Did we?
I would say I made a deal, and I don't see him fulfilling his end of the bargain at this point, so I'm on Raveno's side.
We can't just leave an innocent person.
I don't even know if we find
Is he innocent? He helped build this murder hole.
sign of him, we'll help him out. But I don't think that can really be a priority. We don't even know where to start looking.
So this is the armory. And from where do we proceed? Precisely?
Well, we followed the imp here, really, so we should probably go the opposite direction.
This is wise.
Because he was probably leading us into a trap.
Although the imp hath what it wanted.
That's true.
Last game I did Primeval Awareness, and I detected almost 30 imps. No orcs, which is my fault for not remembering.
You can detect orcs, can you?
Did you also
Isn't it
detect
only,
like vampires or something?
Yes,
Like
there were
two?
vampires and a
Yeah.
gnome.
Oh, evil no.
There were like
And
two
then,
vampires.
Probably evil, no.
Place is
So like
crawling with-
five
Probably.
spawns? Or
Yeah.
what are they called? Yeah, I don't know.
So this place is crawling with imps.
Ooh.
Would that have told me if to think any of these people here were imps, or would I have detected there?
You'd be able to detect the direction, but like last you did your check, they kind of seemed all over the place.
Okay.
You may try it again.
I think I only get that once per day.
I don't know if you guys took a short rest or not. I'm pretty
We
sure
did take
you
a short
did take a
rest.
Oh, it just takes a spell slot, so I can use a spell slot, but I
gone
already
forever.
used 2 of my 3 spells.
Bye.
Well, when we touched the imp, it revealed itself. If you wish, you can clap my shoulder here and see that I am no imp.
I'm much
You don't
prettier
need to
than
touch me.
that.
I'm fine. I'm not an imp for sure.
Just as an imp would say.
I mean, I'm not.
I am teasing you.
Okay, great. That was a funny joke.
Shul's gonna start pushing
Appears
on
to be a
Raphael's
lady.
leg.
No imp. Better?
Yes.
I pat Shulrolar on the head.
The Dragonborn can touch me now. I'm joking.
I already did.
Oh, you did already? Okay. I didn't feel it.
An awkward air rises over the room.
Right, so, the door, yes?
Do we unbarricade the door from what was probably a trick that nothing was actually chasing this imp? That he was trying to lead us astray to this very room?
It can't hurt.
Break it down.
I mean, we were the ones who barricaded it.
Yeah, I want to break it down.
So we want to go towards the possible danger that it ran from.
I suspect if I had many agents of illusion, luring my victims toward their demise would be my goal, not away from. So if we want to be away from whatever lurks in these foul halls, then perhaps we should go to where, in the direction the orc emerged from.
Besides,
The orc imp.
Finnegan might be there.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
I should have hunter's marked him.
So I guess we're just gonna push
So we're gonna try
over.
and break down our barricade.
Yeah.
Okay, as you begin to take it apart and kind of just put, I guess, furniture that was present within the area,
Yeah,
and
bookshelf.
just kind of pull it along the side, and you feel like some light rattling of the bookshelves. They're not really that sturdy, although the orc that was there made it look really strong. As you just pull it along the side, you unveil a door, and as you go through the archway, you kind of see the same dank, blackened, ash-like hallways that you've seen before. Cobwebs kind of blowing a little bit in the
That's
tiny
right.
slight wind that is blowing through.
The
You
wind,
do see-
that's why we came down this corridor in the first place, was we were trying to find the fresh air.
But you
And then the orc ran at us. Sorry.
But you do see that the hallway has kind of sort of changed a little bit. It seemed to revert the length of the hallway almost. Like it seemed to almost move and form in a different fashion. As you look around, you kind of see an unfamiliar hallway. Still the same basic features, but shrunken.
Something is afoot.
As you
Did
look
I
to
get
your left,
bigger?
you can see a flickering light. That's just present. You can see a flickering of candlelight, and to your right, you can see a long hallway that stretches almost into a salon. That kind of outstretches in the middle of a mansion foyer.
A salon, like there's makeup there.
No, a salon. A salon in like a traditional mansion sense, where like it's just a
like a
huge
sitting room.
area that goes into stairs and kind of diverts the entire house.
Ruby's sad now. He thought he was gonna get more makeup.
Yes, you're going for really good eyeshadow made of ash.
I mean,
It probably is made of ash.
Yeah.
Charcoal.
so do we proceed?
Which way dost thou proceedeth?
Ooh, that was good.
That was
What
really
do
good.
you think, Lasgra? Everyone looks to me, but
Change your
I'm just good at punching stuff.
You are a tracker, so
I think Shul's gonna cast Detect Magic. Just to kind of see what's up around the hallway. Because if people are thinking things look different, then
I have stepped on many traps this day.
Yes.
Oh wait. Never mind.
that.
He didn't.
should have had
He
my
didn't prepare it.
perception.
Oh wait.
It's on that.
I can still change it.
Could I roll for perception to see if I can notice anything? I don't know, like oddly.
Hell yeah.
Just in case, whatever.
Give me that roll.
Let's just try it out. I mean,
Actually, I changed this. So
it's a 9 plus 3, which is
I forgot
12.
that I did.
So what are you
Okay.
perceiving, sorry?
So I'm just seeing if like like for start trap. I meant for traps. Like if any.
Oh, you don't really see any traps. It seems as though the hallway itself has kind of reverted back into a normal
Yeah.
hallway form.
Okay.
Okay.
This kind of looks more or less like the normal house that it wasn't previously. This looks like an actual thing with a floor plan, not endless hallways, not endless paths, but a actual floor plan. What happened previous
Okay.
seemed to be like the hallway stretched on forever.
So Shoal is casting detect magic.
All right. As you can tell a little bit from the magic itself is kind of like resonating in the area. You can tell that the type of school that was a part of it was a transmutation spell. It's kind of an enchantment, very, very powerful enchantment that kind of surrounds and encapsulates the entirety of the house. But as you move forward, you kind of get two real signals as the pulse kind of goes a little bit forward out from your casting. You get two very particular types. You feel like this dark magical presence in the flickering room, and you see a very, like, almost bright, almost holy type of aura closer to the salon.
So there's kind of just residual
Yeah,
transmutation,
yeah.
and that's not. But
The
there does
transmutation
seem
is
to be. What kind of schools are these
transmutation.
dark and holy ones?
Yeah, necromancy, and the other one is
So which room has the necromancy? This.
the flickering one,
Okay.
and the other one has more or less radiant energy.
Okay.
Do I
Not
s-
necessarily not arcane in nature, but
Yeah.
almost divine in nature.
Do I sense that as a paladin, or do I?
You didn't do
You
detect
could
good
use your
enough.
divine sense. to do
Yeah.
that. You can do that.
Hobgoblin
3 times
over
per
here would know.
rest.
Can I use divine sense?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
As you use divine sense, you kind of peer out into the divine or religious powers that be and kind of extend forth your will. You can kind of tell that there are, for sure, evil creatures in the area, but as far as what you can tell, there's one towards the flickering room that is just like this black ball of extremely, like, not negative, but powerful energy. You can tell that this divine force is a force of Behail.
Behale?
Yes, Behail, god of revenge, and as well as Wofik, which is an entropy of death.
So sort of the necromancy is.
Yes.
Behale.
Yeah, Behail is more or less like revenge and like lesser side of justice, and the other one is Wofik, and Wofik is like entropy.
So.
And it's important to note that those the Wofik is very much tied to Yelweh, which is the god of things. I was gonna actually go through this whole religious thing, but as of right now,
So Behale and Wolfig have.
yeah.
Can I presume that we're all like discussing all of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's two. There's the one that's Wofik is particularly interesting. Due to your knowledge of religion, being a paladin, you'd know this. So there's two specific gods that are tied to one another. There's Wofik and Yelweh. Yelweh is the god of life, and Wofik is the god of entropy, and they're more or less called sister gods. And what it means is that they have this agreement that basically if one needs to invoke the powers of another to increase their trait, they are allowed. So for instance, you could have a character that, in order to benefit life, it must first destroy life. In order to preserve the balance of death, it might need to control like a new plague or a bacterium or something like that.
So is the holy that the radiant magic or a divine presence I sense then Yahweh?
Yeah, that would be Yelweh.
Okay.
Well,
Very strong presence.
then I want to go there.
So Behale and Wolfig in the necromancy room, and Yahweh in the. Yahweh.
Salon.
Yelweh.
Yahweh.
Not Yahweh.
Yeah.
Although that would be a fun fantasy.
I was like,
Not
Like-
really though.
Like I was like, that's very similar.
Yeah, sorry.
So Yahweh is in the salon where there's radiant energy
Yes.
happening. Okay. So yeah, that seems safer.
I've already started walking there.
I will check for traps and do a perception.
Okay.
Also, detect magic does last for 10
Ooh.
minutes.
Yeah, it
So
does.
if any
It's a
more
hella thing.
auras come in within 30 feet.
My perception is only 8.
I would like to also make a perception check.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
15.
So, more or less to you, Bloodmaw, it kind of looks more or less like an average hallway. You don't see anything out of normal. But, Ravino, you noticed a little bit more about this hallway, about the type of... some of the aspects of the hallway. You noticed that a lot of it has seemed to have been molded or rotted away very, very quickly, almost. That all of this area has been roughly desecrated very quickly. This isn't a sign... more or less, the features that would be around, the paintings, the furniture, the wood... would not degrade this quickly, but for some strange odd reason, it seems as though to just be like leeching its life away from that area. So that is very, very unusual. You don't see any traps of any type, but you do notice that this place seems to be aged.
Can I safely assume that this is kind of just like the whole...
Yeah. Way down. As you extend further down into the salon, you can see like this large opening that extended 2 staircases. And at the top of it, you can see this man sitting in a chair, and you can see the morning sun pour through an open door of the mansion. As it begins to creep in more, you can feel like a nice gentle breeze blow in. The first time you smell fresh air and morning dew.
Oh, it's lovely.
But as you instead further up, you look to your right, and you see this large staircase that extends further, and you can see a man kind of hunched over in a chair. He appears to be just tired and been awake all night. He's in his late 20s. He has long red hair that kind of descends past, unkept. His dark blue eyes hover the heavy bags of pale flesh underneath. His clothes, which is probably the cleanest thing on his body, has like religious iconography that is present all along it. He kind of takes a look around, and he looks at all of you with these tired eyes as he's just slumped over and pale. And as he opens his mouth...
It's an imp. Do not trust it.
As he opens his mouth, you can kind of see like pale teeth that begin to slide open. As he looks forward,
Are they sharp?
give me a perception check.
Can I do
12.
Yes, but uniquely, Losgar, you would notice that this is the person who seems to be radiating this amount of energy from them.
Which energy? The good one?
The radiant.
The radiant energy.
Yeah.
Alright.
Man kind of
Share that
sits
with the
over
group,
and just
obviously.
looks at all of you as he's just tired. Shoulders are slumped. He looks over. And he immediately takes a good look at all of you with his tired eyes, barely weeping over the eyelids.
reveal your illusions, imp?
What is everyone's hit points at?
Oh. Why do you ask?
Yeah.
Because I need to know.
Kind of want to tell you now.
25.
Is that what's your max?
25.
Cool. Anybody below hit points?
I
Yeah,
have
me.
18 out of 20.
16 out of
I
22.
forgot
As
to
he
do
immediately moves
my
forward and he
rest.
raises his eyes at all of you, you can kind of feel like his hand move up, and immediately this bit of white light begins to trace around his fingertips. And as it kind of extends further, it casts a large white power that just kind of envelops all of you, and you are all healed up to max hit points.
What?
Nice. Okay,
Tis
so
no imp, I think.
probably not an imp. Yeah.
As he looks forward
I
and
could
he's
have
like,
told you that.
managed to escape. That's good.
Who are you, sir?
I'm Delin.
Can you tell us what is blood? Like our blood downstairs?
Weren't we looking for someone named Dylan?
We are. We found him.
Yeah.
I
Thanks.
will
I wasn't character voice, but okay.
I will have to apologize for that.
You didn't. You
I'm,
didn't put your
sorry.
fist on your
There
noggin.
was,
I'm afraid I wasn't aware of
there was a Danil.
I'm afraid I wasn't aware of what Orphan was doing.
It changed
I must
a little bit.
I must apologize.
Couple times.
I thought you were being here willingly, but not so much. Just excuse me, I'm very tired.
Are you okay, Bill? Or
Is
We're
it?
bitten?
yeah.
He looks up and he takes a look at you for a minute, and he's like, not bitten. Cursed though.
By whom?
He's a vampire.
Does this look like... Can I tell if this is the same house that I initially tried to get into and then had my blackout? Okay.
This is the place. Blacked out immediately. He's like, I am rather cursed at the moment. I thought it would have been easier, but cure doesn't work that way.
How came you by the curse?
You take a look at his paladin. I need you to make a religion check.
Didn't we have like punctures on our bodies?
Yeah, you guys did.
We still do, yeah.
He doesn't seem to have any.
Wow, I have a -1 to religion? Well, so 16.
16?
I'm stupid.
16, you'd be able to tell that because of the sister gods thing, the symbols that are kind of present all along his body, they look like Yahweh symbols. But what you immediately detect on him, as you kind of extend further, this guy's undead.
Told you he's one of the vampires I smelled.
But I sense radiance from him.
He also just got healed by the vampire, so good vampire maybe.
That's very unusual.
But there's no such thing.
I mean, unusual doesn't mean impossible, as well,
There are
you may have
many
noticed since
undead who
meeting
do
me.
things that seems they shouldn't do.
Yes, I thought Orphan would have come up with a good cure, but apparently not.
I want to do an insight check on him.
You haven't seen my retainers, have you?
16.
I'm afraid not. 16?
16.
What are you checking? What are you? Are you just trying to check his general atmosphere?
Yeah, it's like, is he trying? I'm still shook from the imp, from Kevin.
Freaking Kevin!
And here's this vampire who heals us very strangely. So I'm just want a general read on his everything.
He seems extremely tired and extremely fatigued.
Why heal us?
That's what I do.
Who are? And tell us about you, Dylan.
I was sent out here after the affliction took place, and I'm
Sent here by who?
myself and my sister.
Your sister Nan.
Looks like they got you pushing too many pencils.
And where is your sister?
I imagine she's around once often left.
How is she taken to this curse?
I've been searching for a cure for a very long time. I've contacted many places. I don't know. Orphan, he took everything that I had. I thought I'd be done with this by now.
Do you know Finnegan?
Yeah.
An imp took him.
An imp named Kevin. We seek to destroy Kevin!
Verily we do.
I knew Finnegan through the Olar.
And who is this?
He's a elf delegate from Saren Saren. He said that he had knowledge in these types of things. Bookworm. But
Coward.
most of them are. And then I asked him to come here, and then he never came.
You seemed to think he'd seen you. How comes that there are so many imps here?
I thought Orphan would, I thought he would have connections in the hells.
Do you know of the portal in the library?
Yes, I made it.
Where does it go?
Any place I want. Until I'm no longer strong enough now. You can kind of see as you look up at him a little bit, as he kind of coughs, you can kind of tell like a little bit of blood that he just quickly wipes away.
Past the library, there was a room of blood and vials. With that, perhaps you should go refresh yourself.
That place is unuseful to me.
What is it for?
It's to look for Demigods.
What business have you with demigods?
If I can look for a strain of Yahweh's blood, maybe it would heal me.
Trying to find a cure from our blood. Oh.
Your father was looking for you.
He would.
Believed you were infected. True.
That's right.
You know this one's father.
How ironic.
He asked me to come here.
I imagine this must be quite shameful for him.
His shame is his business.
I think this is a very odd curse. Why curse a healer with vampirism?
Irony. Cruelty.
As you can kind of tell as he begins to sit there slowly as the sun begins to encroach ever slowly upon the stairs almost. He just waverly sits there, his eyes kind of sloped forward, just kind of waiting as he begins to move further and further.
Art planning to die?
There's no planning.
No.
Is there anything you can tell us that might help us get out of this place and find Finnegan before you get all crisped up?
Last I knew, he was heading to Lakereach. He's probably gonna go back there to his contacts.
And then what? What will he do?
I imagine he'll go back to his shop and wait till he gets what he wants.
Which is?
He wanted something, blood. I was swindled enough to believe him.
Huh. Perhaps we will interfere.
How does this... Can we use that portal to get to Lakereach? In case you don't want to hoof it all the way.
I doubt that would work now. I'm too weak for it.
I mean, my little one here used the power word stun feature it's got.
That's a fun little creature. You kind of see a light little smile that begins to curl up almost. You can kind of see loose little wrinkles that begin to extend further on his youthful face. And as he begins to look up, he's like, "Could you do me a favor?
Go on.
My sister's got to be somewhere around here.
Okay.
Please find her for me."
Shall I read you your last rites?
Do whatever you want.
Rubalux begins to pray in Draconic.
Okay, as he begins to extend forward, the light just begins to slowly climb up the stairs, and slowly begins to reach his flesh. And he closes his eyes for a second, and he slowly begins to burn and sizzle as he restrains his entire body underneath, as it just begins to slowly turn to ash, and just finally push entirely over.
Okay.
I wonder what we're supposed to do when we find his sister. Probably should have asked him.
Probably just tell that he's ashes now.
I look out the
It's
window.
toast.
I collect some of the toast.
Oh, could we look at his stuff? Yeah,
He's just burnt up.
just want
Yeah,
to take
a
a
lot-
look.
As
at
you go
it.
up the stairs and kind of take a little bit more of a look, you can tell that even his clothes are lit up in the flames.
Oh.
It must have been extremely painful, but he didn't give an inch.
I'm going to put my hand into the ash and then bear it across my armor and my clothes.
Okay.
I want to look out the window and scan what I see.
Okay, you can give me a perception check, please.
What was his sister's name?
21.
Nah.
You can kind of look outside. And you can kind of see trees that kind of dress out, kind of dotting the landscape as you move forward. You can see nice little shades of the thickets as the sun goes through, and a nice little beaten path But as you look outside, you immediately smell something, and you get this kind of faint smell of wet dog.
Smell any goblins out there?
Yes, in fact.
Oh.
It smells like wet dog. That could just be me.
We'll assume that my retainers probably would have made camp like at the edge of the forest.
Yeah.
Do I see any?
Not right now.
Okay.
Are we on the ground floor?
Yes.
We could leave through this window and be out of this castle right now.
Does anyone have rope?
It's like
It's
you
a
don't
it's
need
a
rope.
front floor. It's just
Oh,
it's the
okay.
door.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
can
I
just
mean-
leave, but also we're supposed to find
Why would we?
that guy's
Oh.
sister.
Why don't we
Oh,
just
Although he
yes.
won't know that we didn't keep our promise if
well,
he's dead.
try? We can try.
We should
Yeah.
probably go find
I
your
make
sister.
no promise today.
Could I roll for perception to see if there's anything useful that could help with finding
I
the
mean,
sister or even something I can keep?
we could try to find his sister.
Yeah.
We could see if we see any sign of Finn, and find my retainers. And then there's really no reason for us to head out the door. We got a portal underneath it. Sean knows how to use, so might be able to get us to Lakereach.
He said that it's probably not going to be able to work now.
He said that he wouldn't be able to use it.
Yeah, but that was his. Like
He cast it, so
yeah.
the caster is dead.
Yeah.
We could do it. Yeah.
Well, that's out.
But nothing else can come through it, so that's good.
Is there anything useful where we are right now?
You just see a lot of old equipment, like old mansiony stuff, like seat beds,
Yeah, we were in a
sofas,
salon.
decayed portraits
okay.
and
Tea
paintings.
set.
You see a lot of ash in the ground. You see a lot of spiders in corners. Like it's not very. It's not a very nice place to be right now. It smells dank. Even looking around closer towards the vampiric ash that's on the bottom of it, a lot of it's just been burned. But you do manage to see a small little crest of the Yahweh within the ashes.
I'm going to take the crest of Yahweh.
Yahweh!
God damn!
Melon.
There's a vowel combination that makes it sound different.
Yahweh.
Yes.
I'll write this up right up here. Yahweh.
That's all you really find. It's just like this nice little shining crest with a red sigil in the middle of it. That's about it. That's all you managed to find. So yeah, what are y'all doing?
Do you think that necromantic aura is this dude's sister?
At any rate, it's unwise to leave it unattended.
I would really hope not.
Scary.
Oh, I see.
That was frightening.
It's just a thing. If it-
Okay.
It's
if it
just a
falls
thing,
down,
guys.
Yeah, just a thing.
Pay no
Nothing to
attention to the
worry about.
large,
Pay no attention to the
tendrily thing in the corner.
It might make more noise if it falls down the rest of the way.
It's only
It's just cardboard.
Cthulhu.
It's like Cthulhu. Wait, that's my patron.
No biggies.
What?
So,
Well, I guess we should go investigate.
Guess we can go out. Yeah.
We cannot leave it.
So let's-
I will start off towards the danger.
Be on
I'll
the
come
lookout
with
for
you.
wet dogs.
It hasn't been 8 hours since the
no, it's short
Concord
rest.
fight. No, but I mean, it hasn't been 8 hours since then, has it?
No.
Okay. So mage armors are still active.
Yes, major armor is still active. Okay, so as you enter into the flickering room, you can see an overturned bookcase, rotted books all over the ground. As you look over, you can see a small, pale half-elf, long blonde hair, delicate rounded features, sharp teeth, wincing in pain. There's a cut above her forehead. Only her head and arm out seem to be trapped and wrenched free from the fallen bookcase that she seems over is far too wide, and seems to be trapped underneath her. She begins to look around a little bit, and she looks up at you, just completely, like, sort of relieved, and also just like, ugh. I have a face she's trapped underneath. You can tell, like, the sun is slowly starting to creep in from the other side as well.
What is your name?
None.
And you are a vampire as well?
No. I'm from Fabulisa. And
Where's
she looks
that?
over and she's like extremely comes over. You can tell by her pale face.
Yeah.
The room is kind of just like covered in this kind of black ash that's all over the
Oh.
place. One part of it is just over the bookcase, and she's just sitting there as
The
the sun-
sunlight is coming. What would you have us do?
I'd prefer if you could help me lift this up.
And how do we know that you will not attack us when you do?
You don't.
It's
Not
kind of
very compelling.
kind of a numbers game, ain't it?
Thy brother is dead.
A lot more
I
or
will.
less.
I will help.
She kind
will
of looks
help.
over and she's like a little bit of like a wince in her eyes.
You can tell
and
us
she's
what Finnegan is.
beginning to like, you kind of feel a little bit of a tear that goes forward, and she's like, "That's great. That's wonderful. Thank you. That's wonderful. Yeah. Tell me that. I can do so much now."
Well, what I
He
can
asked
tell
us
you
to find you.
is that
Next time I will keep it a secret.
he was in a lot of pain, and it clearly was what he wanted.
It was
So,
over
I
quickly.
suppose at least he's free
Let's
of
talk
it.
about this right now. I really
just
don't want to feel like you
happened.
can talk about this. Can we get up this bookcase off, please?
Yeah. Are we gonna help her?
Yeah, we should.
If they can give us some information on Finnegan or this place.
Starting to get into extortion territory, aren't we?
I'm gonna say I
I
have to
start to lift
brace.
the bookcase.
I'm
Perhaps
cool
we
with helping
should,
the bookcase
I'm
too.
lifting
Can
the
you
bookcase.
can you give me a strength check?
She's in her half elf.
She's clearly
Not
weakened.
good.
I'm gonna take a step back from this.
Vampire.
It's still a vampire.
That was
I
only a
know.
9. So
Not strong enough. And she like immediately
Roll
begins
like a 4.
to go over, and she's like, "Just put your knees and like just lift forward. You know, I'll do the same because I'm lying down."
unarmored, I am only 30 pounds.
And we
I
got
can
it.
do this with one
Wow.
arm, but I need
Alright.
to know that you can be trusted or what.
I could say the same of you. I'm currently the one trapped underneath the bookcases. The sun is slowly starting to come to me.
Well, kind of feel like you have no choice. I mean, like we're about to save you, so
Yes, but if I die, you get nothing.
So there is something if we save you.
Yes.
okay.
Very well. And I will lift up the book.
And I will
yeah.
assist.
Strength check?
Yes.
My wand
I
is
will
out in
assist
case.
you.
My
Good,
wand is
because
out
I need it.
in case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a D10, and if it's above 10, then you can do advantage.
D20, I guess.
Go, go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice! Oh my gosh.
That's 2 twos in a row.
No.
Yeah, you see it kind of
Right,
goes up
strength
again at the
plus
moment
3.
you manage to like bring it up, you're like, "Ah!" And then immediately it slips out of your hand, and just the bookcase goes immediately back in your shoulder. It's like, ah!
Oh.
I thought you said you could do this with
Oh
one
god.
hand.
I could. It's.
This is an odd extortion technique. Gotta be real with you over here.
I will
Move
remove,
aside.
Where's Finnegan?
I will remove
Those
my,
are Finnegan is,
my
or I'll do it
tabard
again.
and like hold it up to make shade.
Okay, as the
To
sun
buy
immediately
time.
begins to go over, and it just begins to shelter her ever so slightly as the sun begins to move,
I'm
and she's like,
going to move the
"That's great. Just please move the
bookcase.
bookcase, please."
Oh wow! Now I rolled that.
What was your modifier?
What's my
Might be okay.
modifier?
You're strong. Yeah.
Wait, it would be
Yeah, you're proficient.
So
okay.
that is 13.
That's enough. Sure.
Okay, yeah, as immediately you begin to like lift up the bookcase and just like plow it over immediately, immediately, and just move it over onto the wall. Some more bookcases begin to fall, as she immediately just goes underneath your case and just like shelters underneath as it begins to burn off just the little bits of her fingers and hands. She begins to move in. She's like, "Ah, fuck!"
Oh. Alright, where are we going to be safe from the sunlight?
Yep, we saved you now. So
Hallway, and she immediately
Yeah.
just like begins to
Yeah.
move around. We're
Yeah,
gonna go to the
I
hallway.
will like act as like her.
Yeah, she begins to move.
Shield.
Moving forward, and she's like, "Ah!" You can kind of tell more of her clothes that are present are just like black and tattered. Some of them are burned. You're immediately able to tell that these are symbols of Wolfic and entropy that have been visible along her, and she moves a little bit forward, and you can tell that she got into a scrap. Like her shoulder is wrenched. You can see like not even faint. Like for a vampire, bruises don't really happen, but you can see like faint marks of just like blood circulation that's been cut off. Cut off. Her pale skin is present. She's wincing in pain. She's beginning to breathe a little bit more, and she's like,
Would it be an Arcana check to know whether like necrotic energy would heal her? Or would I just know that?
Yeah, that would be actually, I think that would be a nature, but yeah,
I would,
nature or religion, I imagine.
I would heal you, but last time I did that, I hurt the thing.
Okay, Shoal's gonna roll a religion check. That's not great. I mean, that's an 11. That's 11.
Not enough.
So he's not sure.
Yeah.
Just ask her.
Yeah, she like immediately just begins to like reset, and you hear this harsh
Yeah.
like immediately back in, and she moves her shoulder back
Jeez.
in, and she's like, ugh.
That's not pretty.
So if
I've had worse.
you're undead, would necrotic energy help you out by any chance?
I prefer a glass.
Blast away, what's that?
She just said a glass. She didn't say what of.
Is that a yes or no?
No.
Sorry.
hold up the holy symbol like this was your brother's, but I assume you cannot touch
Don't
this.
show that shit to me right
That
now.
was.
She immediately just like turns it down. She don't show me that shit right now.
Yeah, I'm not putting it down. She just said she wanted a glass.
I don't want to
Right.
think about that right now. Where is that little gnomish, impish bastard?
And it took him.
Granny is somewhere.
And we're trying
What
to
happened here?
Yeah.
And it took
No, the
Finn.
Oh,
gnome.
the gnome.
Gnome.
The gnome. I
Gnome
get
guy.
them confused so often.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, you
Scent is still
like
lurks
one
in
earlier.
this
I don't remember the
maze.
We haven't met the gnome yet. We just know of it.
Before.
Who told us of the
Doesn't
gnome?
matter. He's roughly gone by now. I'm sure of it.
We changed the music. This is too cheery for
I don't know what's up with this. My Spotify is not the greatest.
It's doing the
right now.
opposite. Of what
This
it used
is
to
this
be
is
doing.
very
So
like
cheerful.
beautiful music
We
for this
have-
It's like a
vampire.
meadow, yeah.
We just say the vampire
I
too.
mean,
So
we
it's like,
had great music for Dilim though. That was great.
Yeah. It's really sad.
It's okay.
Dramatic.
Yeah.
Mm.
Christy bastards.
That's rough, yo.
So you feel bad. But
Yeah, as she begins to like, give a little more time, and she's like, okay.
Are you
So I
an
imagined you all from the
imp?
dungeon
You
then.
You
That
legally
makes
have to tell us if you're an imp.
I just put my hand on her shoulder.
sense. It feels cold to the touch, but not necessarily.
Same. Not an
Yeah.
imp.
Are you gonna think everyone's an imp?
For all I know, you're an imp.
I
Yeah.
reach out.
So did you like touch his
Yeah.
face?
No, he just.
Did
Yeah,
you like
just
go full? Did you go full face off and just like?
Yeah.
He like rubs his
he
like
boops.
muzzle like
Egreth boops your snooter.
like.
Aisha just touches your muzzle, but she knows that you're not. She just wants to touch you.
Like, she
I'm-
was over and
Smack.
What?
I'm not a pet.
Are we done? Are we?
So what do you?
Are we
what
done?
do you need? What'll help you? Water,
Yeah.
blood.
blood would be helpful.
Oh.
I'm still holding up the symbol like.
Not by biting, fool. Pardon me.
I take out my
It is
vial.
un-
In bad shape.
But
Would-
it
would
is
this
unwise
be
to
Egreth?
administer by mouth. You could become infected.
Egreth, use your slave. Don't use your.
Oh.
It's a risk.
Use my
hobgoblins
what?
Don't do poison.
I don't know that. I don't know
that's true.
Your
hobgoblins. I know vampires.
your manservant.
Well, I am a half elf, and this
Your
is my
entourage.
vial.
You should just order
With
them
this
to-
dude.
She like immediately just
Well,
like
two
grabs
of them
it
are
and just
missing. I don't know if they're
downs
even
it immediately.
alive.
Yeah, she just like grabs it, and just downs it immediately, and it's just.
And Shoal's my apprentice, my student.
Oh.
He's like a son to me.
All right.
That was so rude.
Never
I'm
talk
going
to me or my son again.
I'm going to train.
Yeah. Don't go near us. Don't talk to me.
I thought you were better than this, Egreth.
She immediately goes forward and she's like, I'm going to train that fucking thing into a husk when I get him.
No shit.
And she just begins to like break her pinky and then immediately reset it as she's
Oh.
just like trying to just like calm down as much as she can. Candace is constant and just like
What
popping it back
did-
into place.
What did the gnome do?
That little fucker swindled us. I'm going to take him and I'm going to destroy him.
He's headed to Lakereach,
Finn's headed to like
Probably
isn't he? What?
he's probably headed to Nether and void that bastard. I'm going to take him and I'm going to train every last thing from him. I'm going to throw it in a river because he's a waste.
You're the one that trapped us here.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
Insight. Not that me or Shoal are good at insight, but we're both gonna try.
I'm gonna also try.
I'm good at that actually.
Ow!
Oh, nice.
21.
My total is 18, and Shoal's total is 14.
You get the sense that maybe like she wasn't fully responsible, but she for sure helped.
But she helped the gnome trap us? Because
Yeah.
I asked if the gnome trapped us.
Yeah. You get the sense that she's not solely responsible for it, but she played a hand. in it.
Okay.
I put my hand
So-
on my blade, on the handle of my blade.
You know,
She immediately looks at it and looks down, and she's like, "Oh, calm down."
I'm starting to get the sense that you had something to do with this being in here.
Yeah, she just said that.
No, she said that the gnome. I asked her if the gnome
Yeah.
trapped us here, and she said yes. And a good insight roll revealed that she
Yeah. Okay.
knows that because
Yeah.
she had something to do with it,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you immediately what question did you ask her? I'm sorry?
I just asked her
Okay.
that. I just pointed out that
Yeah.
it sounds like
She had something.
the
to do.
reason she
Yeah.
knows that is because she had something to do with it too.
Yeah.
Well, what you won't do for family, right?
family with
Not that it matters now.
Your family with a gnome. No, we're
Not
Australian.
him.
What are we?
Her brother, you dolt.
Okay, we aren't talking about the same thing. I initially asked her if the gnome trapped us here,
Yes, and that is accurate. She did
but
say
she
that.
helped.
Yes.
And I asked why she helped,
Oh.
And she
and
said
she
the things
said
you won't-
anything for family.
Yeah, obviously referencing her brother.
But he wasn't even brought up.
I mean, like you did.
That's her
you-
motive.
Yeah, that's her motive.
She wants to help her brother.
She knows that she knows that you went to go see her brother,
That was why she trapped
and
us.
she knows that he killed
what-
himself.
So what was done to us is part of what was part of the plan to cure their vampirism, which didn't work because the gnome friggin' lied
The
to them.
gnome did a betray.
Yes.
Was this disgusting character? Because my character's pretty
No,
stupid.
I got my fist on my head. I'm not in
Okay.
character right now.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
I mean, Laz isn't stupid, but she's not this
No, but I am.
That's
I'm
okay.
super
She's
She
not
got a
the-
little confused.
cleverest.
Yeah,
We
no,
kind
that's
of
fair.
forgot about that.
No, I think that was in character because I'm pretty sure Laz is easily confused.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
We're
No
good.
problem.
Okay, so you.
So you
the
thought
gnome
this gnome would cure your
trapped
vampirism,
Not mine, my
What?
brother's.
His.
But yes,
but you don't want to cure?
not right now.
That's
Ah, fair enough. You have revenge to take.
Am I gonna turn it? If you bite me, would I turn it over?
It's
She kind of
still
like
an
takes her
undead
she
beast.
takes her shoulder and she looks at you for a minute and she
Speaking
looks
of the
up and down
undead
and she's like,
beasts, when they have a will
"There
of
is
their
no
own.
such thing as a goblin vampire.
Their will was
although
to
it would be very
become-
interesting and ugly as hell, but no.
Devils. Well, I was like,
I suppose I
But now my
definitely
character's
ruin
is-
these just exciting, wonderful features I've got.
That and plus poison doesn't
Have
really
fun
work on your
with
kind,
you.
dear.
I know.
This is true. Curses do.
So yeah, I think I'm
want
going
to
to,
Anyway.
by shade of night, I'm going to
So-
head down to Lakereach and I'm going to drain that bastard.
If you need another top up, then I guess if it's not going to turn me, then
Do you know
just
that?
hit me up if you need a top up. That's what I said.
Ah,
I got no reason to distrust her yet.
I like to think that I'm rather forthright.
Thing is, if we couldn't trust her, she wouldn't have just straight up told us that she helped trap us here. And now it seems like we have an enemy in common.
Yeah,
I like her.
An enemy of
Most
enemy
do.
is my friend.
It's like, I don't like the idea of this. Working with.
you are already working with the undead.
And I don't like helping people that I just helped them present.
So
We'll
Looks
take
like we
it
both
by,
got
So we're
problems,
all-
sweetheart.
deeply uncomfortable.
We'll take it by way of an apology.
I will take Ruby aside and go,
Yeah.
I don't trust her either. Let's keep an eye on her.
It's like, if she does anything, I will
Drop her.
smite her.
She kind of looks over as both of you are having this conversation. You can see like a light little eyebrow pop, but apart from that, she's
Yeah.
she's pretty unwieldy.
Right.
We'll stay flanking her.
So what about you? Before you all came over here, what were you guys up to? For the record, we weren't going to kill you. I mean, like that's kind of obvious.
I suppose it is.
No, you just imprisoned us and took our blood.
For 24 hours.
Can I have that blood
Catch and release?
back, by the way?
Sorry,
Can I have my blood back?
just go downstairs and get it.
It's not. There's no traps. Are gonna.
It wasn't there, I thought.
No, I think mine was there. There was a hobgoblin blood.
I thought we took it.
Did we? I don't think I took mine.
No, the only person who took blood was Nightshade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did we go collect the blood and then leave? Yes?
Sure.
Too many
Whatever.
traps.
While you're there, can you put it in?
She must know where the traps are.
Actually-
Come with us.
Yes, I'll get a bag. And she like immediately just like picks up a bag that's in the corner. She dusts off a little bit of ash, and she's like, "Fucking stupid motherfucker."
Read
She's like just like brushing it off, and you can tell it's like still on her hand now. She's like, "Ah,
Where did the imps congregate?
in hell."
Why are there so many of them here?
And where did they take Finnegan?
Like I imagine they went over where Orphan goes, and where Orphan goes, I'm going to find him. But I imagine they follow him because he's so resourceful.
Can I insight check that just to make sure that information is like accurate, true?
Yes.
Ooh.
Orphan is a gnome, right?
Yes. It's the most unkindest.
16.
She's accurate. She's telling the truth. She's being genuine about it.
To her knowledge, anyway.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know. I've never seen any gnome ascribed to the 9 hells. Fuck's sake. She's moving over. She just takes out a bag and she immediately begins to go downstairs and she looks at all of you for a minute. She's like, coming? You
Yes.
guys want to see some crazy shit?
Moderately crazy shit.
She, you kind of tell at this moment that like, she is full blown like get shit done, don't care about
Yeah.
nobody.
I'm going to stick right next to her. My abjuration senses are tingling, and just in case anyone gets an itchy sword finger.
She immediately goes over and she begins going over to the blood and just like carelessly just taking one hand over and just like a bag, and she begins to walk to walk as they just begin to all go into the bag, and she shuffles them over a little bit, snaps her fingers, opens up the bag, and she begins to like take out some more, and she's like, phoenix scales, and she just throws them at you. Again, she's like, phoenix scales, whale's blood, and she just begins to like throw vials at you, and she's like, look at this. Who even needs this? Unicorn tears, they taste way better. And she just like throw.
Oh my
I'm
god.
definitely like pocketing all of these under my
Those are
mysterious
amazing.
clothes.
Yeah.
And she's
Better
like,
ingredients. I think.
useless, all of this. We should burn down this place when we leave.
I would
Finally,
love
something I can get into.
to. It'll be fun.
No matter now.
So
I enjoy the
Found-
occasional act of minor arson or
Found-
major arson, given the
Whatever, it's
size
my
of this
father's
house.
place. He can buy it and take the ashes.
I think I already used my dragon's breath.
He hired me.
well, what are you gonna do if this place
We'll
burns
burn down his house.
Find another place.
I suppose you wait for nightfall.
I
to
mean,
burn it
this
down.
isn't the only house in existence. I'm sure it'll be fine.
He seems a bit of an ass.
If we
Well,
start burning it down
it's
now,
kind
you got nowhere to
of-
go. I suppose we'll wait till nightfall.
Yeah.
Or we can just. And she just like immediately goes over and she takes out an umbrella and she's like, and just folds it right open, and she's like, perfect, stylish, simple,
All right.
nice, and inconspicuous.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not like
If
your
anybody
arms all
asks,
chewed up.
I have a skin disease.
That stuff is technically true.
It is.
We could
Well.
bandage thine arms.
For what?
Protection against the sun.
It'll just burn.
Fair enough.
Immediately look over and you can you sense that the umbrella itself is made out of kind of like this reptilian material. She begins to extend it out in the indoors and just like begins to fold it over, and she's like, I'm fine, so long as everything should be okay.
Before we do this, is there any sort of magical relics or potions around here that might help us out?
Let me think. No. Burn it all down.
All right.
Can I insight that? If she just like wants to get it over with
Yeah.
and burn the place?
You may.
Oh, that was really good. 23.
Let it burn, motherfucker. she does not care about anything here. You kind of get the vague sense that she's just too wealthy to care.
But like, does that mean there's really no loot?
Oh, there's probably a lot of loot in here if you look around.
I mean, I was asking if there's like magic artifacts.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah,
So that was the
that's kinda
insight.
what
If there was a lie in there.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
that's what I was
definitely there. It's not necessary. Yeah, she's totally lying. She just doesn't care.
Well, seems to me like there are actually things of value in this house, and it'd be a shame to burn them.
Take it. I'm lighting it in 5.
None.
What of Finnegan?
We're gonna help you.
Finnegan ain't here. That and plus, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? A demon's gonna burn.
All right, look, Nan, we're helping you. You could return the favor, perhaps, by letting us know where anything, magic, artifacts, whatever could be. Let us go grab it. Then we'll burn down the house.
Okay, well, there was a mace that was near the blood area. which
This
I'm-
one.
Not that one.
Yes.
With the skulls on.
I imagine there should be some rogue things around that orphan probably left upstairs near the bedroom, and probably sure there's some cloaks somewhere in the dressing room. It's probably all upstairs in the bedroom.
All right, let's
Okay,
go to
well, I
bedroom.
mean,
Come on a stroll
Yeah,
with us.
let's do it.
That's
I'll be
don't
waiting
want
near the
you-
front. She immediately just
No, because you might burn the place
Don't want you
down.
burning
You
the
come
house
with
down
us.
while we're
Yeah,
burning with us.
inside.
better directions you give us, the quicker this will be over with, and we can start burning.
And she immediately just begins to like go upstairs, walk through the salon, go past the stairs, totally not looking at at the ashes, and
I
then
will kind of body block
she looks
that
back
a
at the
little bit.
ashes again, and just like looks down at them, and then just like kicks them over with one boot, and she's like, "You're shit!" And you kind of see like there's a little bit of anger in her eyes. She just begins to move away, and she's just like, "Stupid motherfucker, and just like begins to like move over, and you can kind of tell like she just like rubs something off her face. She continues moving over. She's like, "It's in the bedroom. Pay no attention to everything that's around there. I'm sure he's a wonderful interior decorator." He just begins to sit outside the door. And as you open up the door, you would normally see a room that would be full of things like a bedroom and a dresser, but instead you see glyphs and notes lining the entirety of the walls. You can see bits of transformed wood that begins to outstretch out, almost to have these large, gnarling faces.
This
on
looks
top of
safe.
the bedpost. As it begins to move forward, you can see the bed sheets are mostly stained. You can tell they're maybe in pristine condition. They're filled with stains, like different mixtures of yellows and browns and reds. And as it begins to move forward, the mirror has been smashed into pieces. You can tell that there's a glyph in the bottom of the ground that's present. Candles have just been there left to burn. You can tell the curtains partially burned. This place smells awful. But as you begin to enter, you see this back little counters and drawers that seem to be filled with different vials that are present.
Alright, let's go searching.
Yeah.
I want to check for danger. Like, do the glyphs look dangerous, or?
You can give me an Arcana check.
Oh boy, that's not a thing I'm good at.
Could I also do an Arcana check?
I'm gonna study.
15.
Me and Shoal are studying everything.
I will be watching.
Nice. A 19 for Arcana. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so you two would be able to tell this is a summon greater fiends spell.
Oh.
So does someone grab my
gonna run
shoulder
back.
for her to walk up?
Additionally, you can find some lesser notes.
Water while I'm upstairs.
No, I don't think so.
Additionally, you can find some lesser notes on some notes of the abyss that are present in the corner.
So Shoal got
What
16
language
and
are
I
they
got
written? Can I read
Oh,
them?
they're an abyssal.
13.
Oh, I do not speak that. I will take those anyway.
Yeah.
Just in case.
You also see a couple other books that are present. As you look across to the side, you can see an outlayer of like potions and different flasks and things.
Could I roll something to see if I recognize what kind of potions they are or what they do?
Yeah, give me a separate Arcana check.
Oh, okay. I was rolling so good. I need more.
You can see kind of like one little, almost like a little like bag trinket in the corner. Additionally, you can see one potion of healing that's present there, as well as 2 other potions of greater healing.
Damn.
I take those and I tell you guys though, I'm like, does anyone want one of these or?
I'm gonna grab a potion of greater
I
healing.
feel like whoever's gonna be sticking with the paladin should probably have one in case they go down.
Yeah.
Additionally, you can also see like some other stones. You can see like some like a bloodstone,
I'm just gonna start touching stones.
a carnelian, and chicaltony.
You said something about robes, so
Yes.
Ruby's gonna look for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me an
Magic.
investigation check.
-1, so 18.
You can tell that there are some in the corner, like some large drapier
Yeah.
capes that are present. You see one that has like a faint magical aura to it, but apart from that, you can't really.
But I don't really know what it does.
Try it
have
on.
any idea what it does.
Yeah, I'm gonna start trying cloaks on too.
So you, with all the traps that you've walked through, you want me to just put this on?
I've already put one on.
Well, we can just detect magic or whatever, like just
Yeah, there seems
identify
to be
whatever.
2 robes.
Do we have any identify?
And I'm holding
I got
one
one.
of them?
Sorry, one
Oh.
cloak and one robe. Sorry. my
Okay, am I
apologies.
holding the rope or the cloak?
You can hold the robe.
Okay.
I got the cloak on my shoulders. I'm gonna see if I feel anything.
You don't feel anything immediately.
Alright.
I'm gonna jump and
Well,
run around.
YOLO.
Nothing.
What is that word?
It's draconic.
Can I try roll for Arcana to see if I can maybe, I don't know if it works, but identify if...
Yeah.
You
auras-
can do
Shoal
that.
cast identify, but he's out of spell slots.
Yeah, it's not really one of
It
those.
doesn't, okay, yeah, I just want to double check.
So, what do I...
How about get a sense of what it does? Like what it's for? Like if it's defensive or if
It's
it
more,
makes you better at attacking.
you know what? Give me an Arcana check. It's
Okay.
Is it
disadvantage.
10 minutes yet?
No, yeah, it's been past 10 minutes.
Okay.
Doesn't even matter, because it's like, 4.
So when I put on the robe, did anything happen?
You feel like a faint sense of magic kind of like overwhelm you for a minute, and you feel kind of like incensed in the current state that you're in as you begin to look around, and kind of like more or less darker places begin to like appear brighter near you.
Don't I already have dark vision?
Non's here with us.
Oh, I
right?
don't. I'm a
Dragonborn.
dragonborn, forgot.
Yeah. Sorry?
Wait, it gives me dark vision or something
You
like
just
it.
ask her.
I like it. It's
That'll
like
be useful.
dark birds.
Very useful.
I mean, like, yeah, you could just ask.
Yeah. Do you know about what either of these do, Non?
That one's for getting away real quick without getting hit, and that one is how much to gift from my dad. It's stupid.
What does it do?
I believe it invokes some crazy deity in order to do better things in the dark.
Sweet.
That's
what,
awesome.
what,
Okay, yeah,
what
so
do I write down?
do you wanna
What's
give
the
us
word
a-
for it?
Robe
of something.
I just called
found
it.
two magic,
I just called
robes.
it shit
Oh,
robe.
one's a robe, one's a
Shit
magic,
robe.
whatever.
Shit robe.
So,
You think I can write that down? I write it down.
That's not shit. It gives you like.
does that mean you're going to give me a
night vision or whatever.
description of
You
what
don't need
my
dark
cloak
vision
that
for
I
a
found?
vampire, do you?
Yeah.
She said
Even
it
as a
just
half-elf.
helps you avoid
It's like
avoid
kind of
Yeah.
useless.
Okay.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna
I'm
write
gonna-
this.
Fasten it around Shoal and, like, I guess pin up the bottom of it because
Okay.
he's really small.
Okay.
So this one's going to be. If it helps protect, then I'm strapping it on Shoal.
Okay. Additionally,
You
is
feel alright, little guy.
I wasn't expecting this to be honest. I forgot you were doing both. Sorry,
Have you
Mom.
potions
I
on
had
you, by the way?
Garanet
Potions of healing?
flashbacks.
Yeah.
I have healing
Oh.
magic.
Well, no, if you know.
Oh, you don't. Okay, you're fine then. Okay.
Garanet.
I would put little.
Okay, so
I would put a
I
clip on
don't
her
use
here.
material possessions very much.
I think he will
If I
cast
find a better
identify
axe, I
once
throw my
we
current
get
axe.
specified. All right, are we done with looting?
Yeah, I think
Anything
that was
else?
a
We
good
got
search.
some potions.
Travel light.
Are any of these stones
Do you need
magical?
a tinderbox?
They're magical in the way they get you lots of money.
Let's take them. Be money.
Yes, we can have these. These will be in this will go toward sort of group adventure courses. I think we should.
She's so disinterested.
All right. All right, let's blow this popsicle
Done
mansion.
scavenging.
What is a popsicle?
You know, it's like ice. They put ice and it's flavored. I'm in Australia. Again.
Never heard that word.
Goblin
Yeah.
delicacy.
Goblins make popsicles all the time. You never had a popsicle?
No.
I breathe fire.
Yeah. Might be
It
nice
would-
change of pace. A nice chilly treat on a warm. If it gets really hot in Eldrat's waist, we got we got ice cream, we got popsicles, we got cyclones, we got freezies,
Goblins are so strange.
we got slushies.
I recommend the blood flavor.
That actually sounds pretty good.
No.
I've been asleep for very long.
Yeah, this is a weird. Okay. I like new friends. I like new friends.
Anybody not
Icy
excited to
treats.
burn a house down?
Yeah, let's
I'm
do this.
excited.
Let's
go.
go.
I just
Yeah,
said-
let's get out.
I'm gonna fuck. Okay. Do any of us have
So we all head
oil
outside
flasks?
while we do this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyone have oil flasks?
Right, but I have two.
She immediately, like, as you guys immediately
Oh,
start
so
editing on the
tender.
house, she's like, I got it, I'll take care of it, it's fine.
We have a dragonborn.
I use my breath weapon.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
She looks at you with a faint sense of disdain, and she's like, get good. and she's like, and she immediately just like ushers all of you out. She's like, get out of my house. Just go. Get out of my house, please.
With pleasure.
And she immediately
I need to burn it down.
begins to like, move around. She just starts like lobbying, just throwing fireballs at things, like
Whoa.
throwing in fireballs in different directions,
my
just
God.
laying waste to the whole thing. As she goes out, she kind of like just walks out of this silent little glide as she begins to walk out. Just as the top part of the roof just begins to like and just fall down around her. She just like waveringly picks up the umbrella, unfolds it, and she goes out, and she just like moves her head over, and she begins to have this large little smile on her face, and she's like,
my god.
I fucking hated that.
Are there any
Really?
parts that aren't burning very well?
Pardon?
Are there any parts that aren't burning as well?
Okay, I'm still her.
Come back, Brent.
She like there's a little part of the house that is burning very, very efficiently. You can tell like some picture frames aren't burning as well as necessary. There's some little bits of wood that seem, because they're so rotted, just aren't burning as efficiently as possible. You can tell like
Well-
steam rising off of them, kind of like this damp energy as the sun begins to extend higher into the sky.
I'm just gonna flick in a chromatic orb with fire energy.
Okay. Make an attack roll at extreme advantage. No, I'm just kidding. No, actually, it's a house. If you miss a house.
Yeah, that's...
But yeah, as it just begins to burn down, your chromatic orb just like burns off this little part of a dresser in immediate flames and just just kind of explodes ever so lightly. You can hear like vials exploding from downstairs. It just begins like just right underneath, and the larger part of the house just begins to like cave in almost. She turns around and she's like,
Better?
This was a bad idea. It smells worse.
Yeah.
yeah, it smells pretty awful. She's like, there's one thing I miss about mortality. It's the smell of marshmallows.
This house is full of imps. We should anticipate them. Fastly realizing the house is on fire, we could be swarmed with imps at any second. Be on guard. I scan the perimeter.
Yeah,
The nightmare was still in there.
Oh no, we forgot about other living things in there. Oh.
Yeah, she'd be like, with as you make that
22.
kind of statement right now, and she's like, yeah, they're gone.
22 perception check. I just like scan the perimeter and like check the sides of us.
As
I've
you
seen,
begin to like,
I've seen houses burned before.
as you begin to walk around, it's a very choice statement. Like, did you say that out loud?
Yes.
I think that's the thing.
Okay. Yeah, you can kind of like a little bit more of a smile as she begins like her mouth begins to curl up into a smile, and she's like, "It still smells good though."
Oh.
As it begins to go around, you see no imps. You don't see any demonic presences as it begins to go around. You can still smell the faint sense of dog that is in the area. Additionally,
Can I do like a nature check on
Hell
the
of a
smell?
bonfire.
pardon?
Can I do a nature check on the smell?
Yes, you may.
Fuck that up.
Did you fuck it up?
I
Dice
touched
roll.
it. It hit the edge and it was like off kilter.
It was
Anyway,
cacked.
21.
21.
Nice.
You'd be able to tell that there are maybe some dogs around here with your
Dog,
keen
wolf.
senses, like
Werewolf.
more or less wolf,
Bear.
Were
It's a wolf.
dog.
that
I
are
hope
present
not a
around. It's kind of like
werewolf.
musky smell. Additionally, you can also tell like just near the vicinity of the house, with its kind of rotted forms that are present onto the ground where nothing seems to grow. You look up and during your sensing, I guess, your smelling, you like begin to lift your nose up a little bit further. You can see along the trees almost. You can see normally that these leaves would have like this large green kind of color, but you can see all of them have like this weird black stripe through them almost that kind of give off this little violet sense. And you can tell like there's definitely some kind of influence along the trees almost that begin to like make this kind of winding trail throughout the forest as it begins to like extend further and branch
I am
out.
gonna head over
Something
to
you
where
see?
we had made camp and see if I see any
There
signs
are wolves
of
nearby.
There.
the retainers.
The leaves are strange.
What's going on at like where we made
They
camp?
look like leaves.
I think it was a little bit of
They
a
were
walk
blackened.
away.
They look.
I mean, we
Like
were.
they're tainted.
They would have camped like at the tree line close to the house as possible.
Well, it's like the trees are a little bit. They're still, like, although they're separated, you're gonna have to like walk a little bit further because these are still at the burning house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
A
we
big
gotta
pillar of
find my
smoke.
retainers. I mean, we can't. Darthan Drawl and Darthan Drawn.
Do you have something of theirs that might smell like them?
I mean, they mostly carry my stuff. They feel around. I don't know. Would I?
They might have something they
I mean,
touched.
if they smell like us, I mean, they probably smell a little bit like us. They were with us until recently.
I can do like do an investigation to hunt and track and see if I can't look for signs of
Yeah, totally.
two goblins
With advantage.
with advantage.
Nice.
What's your favorite terrain? This would be a favorite
Grasslands.
terrain. Oh yeah, well, yeah, you'll be fine.
That neither of these are particularly good. Investigation, it's 10.
Just from like smelling Lasgar that's right next to you, you kind of get like a little bit of a faint smell of a hobgoblin goblin type of smell.
Do wolves
But-
like goblins?
Wolves like anything edible.
Okay.
As we get to stand out a little bit further, you
I
kind
am
of get
heading
the
towards
small
it,
little
by the way.
tint of a scent, and then immediately you just lose it immediately within the fresh smells of the forest and just coming out of that
House on fire behind us.
Yeah.
I'm heading in that direction though, so I don't know if anyone's following me.
We should
I'm
get away
following
from the
you.
house.
I'll follow you as well.
I will go.
I can't smell anything with that house burning.
My wand is out in
wretched.
case. Just in
Go
case.
check out the camp. I can't see anything from here, but
As you guys begin to like make the meager walk forward, you can see Drothdel and Drothdan kind of in this small little campsite that's been pebbled around with rocks. They begin to look forward. I'm like, "Are these guys over there?"
I think you could be them.
And they look over and they're like, "Oh man, the house is burning down!" And the other one looks over and they're like, "Oh yeah!" And they begin to smell almost. They begin to move forward and they're like, "Oh, Losgra!" And the other one's like, "Yeah, Losgra!"
Yeah, kind of. Sorry about that. Kind of disappeared for a little bit. I was in prison, and then I wasn't, and then we met a vampire, and then we met another one. And
they immediately like little dumbfounded as you all begin to like extend further, and they're like,
Hail!
"Stay with you." They say in Goblin.
oh yeah, I met all these ones too. You probably don't. I don't know if you ever met Egrith, but we go way back. Rest of them, I don't know. They seem all right.
You see, you can see Drothdoll like immediately like elbows drop down, and both like get a little bit more straighter and begin to like extend their forms a little bit more. They seem a little tad bit taller than they already are. And they're like, "Yes, I'm Droth." They say in English like, "I'm Drothdoll and I'm Drothdan," and they begin to like look over and they slightly bow,
Sort of short.
ever so slightly. They're goblins.
They're goblins.
Okay.
Shoal did drop his spellbook and immediately jump on top of one of them and start wrestling.
They just hustle the ground as they begin to like roll back and forth. Some of them grabbing at their shoulders, some of them grabbing at their necks. They move forward, and she now like immediately looks around, and she's like,
They're like children.
"What did I get myself into?"
They're like my children.
Something.
That is accurate.
They're all young. That's kind of the point. That's why they're adventuring with me, so they can see the world and
and
Learn
possibly
and-
get in jail.
well, I mean,
You know,
it's
that's
part
not
of,
in
comes with the
jail.
territory. Someone check you got in jail too.
Yeah.
It's part of the journey. It's part of the experience.
Perhaps we should not linger here.
Yeah, let's.
Part of the journey is getting imprisoned.
Part of the journey is not expecting.
What's part of this journey?
Being
isn't it?
unexpected. Yeah.
Act like this is unusual. You never been in prison?
No.
Well, you haven't lived yet.
You're right. I've done with living.
Oh. Yeah, that was
Don't talk to
good.
me or my sons ever again.
From where I'm sitting, it doesn't seem like you ever started.
Well, to be fair, being undead was much more fun than being alive.
I still never been in prison.
Not from where we stood when we, let that
just
bookshelf
do
off you when we died.
Oh, well, that was different. Then I had the threat of death, and now, I'm no longer
Can
that
I
way.
presume that
Know
we
what it
would
feels
have
like.
a carriage type of thing? Would we have that?
Probably not on these parts.
What?
I don't know.
Well, since there were
How did we get there?
burrows.
Probably like a lone ass.
Yeah, we got an ass.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel like Darth and Dron would
Probably one with like
maybe.
saddles and
Yeah,
bags.
they got a saddlebag.
Yeah,
donkey.
but it's just a donkey.
Okay,
Oh, not like a
Well,
big dog.
so we just added
Finnegan is gone.
a donkey
He's
to our crew.
Finnegan.
I don't
What's
get it.
its name? What's its name?
Egret.
What do we
I don't
call
get
the
it.
ass?
Oh yeah, what's the ass's name? Find the goblin translator, type ass into it.
Name it Moose.
If ever there's been a moment to call something crud.
Crud.
That's a good name for a donkey. Very goblinish too. Got very some
Or
strong language.
Something like scuff.
Crud. Oh damn!
It's just come up crud.
No, I forgot that it. Chum and crud apparently have the same translation. They're both shoal.
Oh right, because shoal is
Yeah.
called chum bucket.
Yeah. And
Surprise!
that's how you say ass.
As we can
Burrow.
extend forward, she's like, "So we headed toward Lakereach or what? We're just gonna sit here and have camp."
Its name is Rogoon.
Rogoon.
Lagoon the donkey.
Rogoon Burrow.
Like, which way is it?
Well, I believe from my father's place, which is the place that no longer happens to be. You can kind of feel like there's a little bit of a twinkle in her eye. She immediately begins to think about it, and she's like, "I believe it's a little bit north and easterly from here. We have two choices. Either we can follow to the ghost line, which is a great beach, or we can go up the river, which It's nice and pretty.
I like pretty.
It's a little early in the arc for a beach episode.
Is the path of
I suppose I was
is
heading
the
northeast
the
anyway.
path of the like messed up leaves the same as one route or the other?
No, they go to entirely different routes.
Do we have an interest in that?
Hmm?
There was a I forget. It happens to me from time to time.
Well, we were in that pit for a long time. Perhaps we should take a rest before making a journey northeast.
Or we could begin our journey and then rest.
Rest on the make camp. I mean,
Aren't injured? Tired?
Seems like we probably want to get,
And-
just in case there's still imps, we want to get as far away as we can before we make camp.
True.
And there was a very large pillar of smoke, as you wisely denoted.
Didn't you smell like possible wolves or something like that?
There are wolves about, yes.
I think we should make haste.
Yeah.
It's still
By
pretty early.
beach or
Let's
by
let's
river?
camp. Yeah, we should still, yeah.
Who would go by beach?
River keeps us in
I am
water.
utterly indifferent.
Thank you. Very helpful.
She said the river was pretty. I
Freshwater
like
beach.
pretty.
Salt water, we're right next to
One
the
by
ocean.
the river. This one
Beach
says
is
no.
wide open.
Let's stick by the river
Yeah,
because then we got.
yeah,
The
some
river
kind of
route
cover.
it is,
Water.
we go.
Yeah, and water.
I'm starting off in that
Yeah.
general
Let's
direction.
yeah.
Down the river.
Down the
we
river.
go.
All right.
We should consider taking
now
a
we
break
Yeah,
in
it's
about
like,
15
yeah.
minutes,
I
or
was gonna
unless
say.
20
it's, like
20 Brennans?
like 10 to 15 minutes,
20 Brennans?
or we could do it now if whenever
Oh,
the
we
GM.
could do it right now.
I mean,
or
we
we
can.
could-
Good moment.
But we
Let's
could
leave
just
it off on
get to the
begin
camp.
our travel.
Yes. All right. As you guys extend forward.
Got a clock down here, so
Do that fucking
It's
later.
4:05, so we're not doing too bad.
As it kind of extends, it goes into you can kind of see the walking along the Ripple-Water River as it begins to extend forward. You can smell fresh ocean water collect on the pools and lily dams that begin to block the salt water, and out becomes fresh water. You can see a collection of orchids, bright yellows and orange, that extends past the riverbed. This kind of lush green that begins to extend along the riverbed. You can see these large, huge trees. Some of them having the purple stripes, some of them not. And it's present. You can see large fish swimming close and upwards towards the lily dam and extending downward. The river is only about 15 feet deep.
Ruby,
You can see like these large fish that begin to extend underneath lily pads, trying to find shelter from the sun itself.
Ruby looks happier than all of you have ever seen him.
I think we all do, to be honest.
I have no expression. It never changes. Only the mask.
Yeah.
And yes, we're gonna take a break after. And we are gonna take a break from Quests and Queers. We'll be back shortly.
Oh my god. Good job, guys.
We're alive.
My voice was a lot better this time.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was so
Okay.
like
Gotta do them
yeah.
warm-ups.
Okay.
Generally,
Good
everyone
job.
is
That was
doing a lot
amazing,
better.
Brad.
Oh,
gotta do them warm-ups.
We can do it ourselves.
yay!
And I want to see what your mask looks like eventually. I want.
I don't art.
I'll just
Yeah,
start
yeah.
doing some sketches.
So
I brought my
Awesome.
sketchbook.
What we want to do now? Do we want to consider? Hello, and welcome back to Quests and Queers.
Back from the break. Let's get back into it.
Yes. Should I just do recap? I guess. No.
We were along the river,
Yes.
and a thing happened.
We just burnt down a house.
Yes. So what happened just before the break was the group managed to escape the clutches of Helkan Castle after just a little bit of bad times between the Helkan brother and sister. Unfortunately, Dalim Helkan is no longer with us as he was turned to ash, and Nan, willing and eager to get out of this place, you rescued her before leaving this mansion. Throughout the time, she burned down the place as you guys ransacked the rest of the mansion. And you guys are now on the way to I believe, the river.
Yes.
Yes, you guys are walking across the Ripple-Water River on way to Lakereach. And as you guys begin walking forward, the travels begin to go a little bit farther than you guys originally anticipated. The trip to Lakereach is going to be what you thought might have been like maybe a couple of hours has now turned into a day trip. As he gets even further towards the coastline, can anybody please give me a perception?
Oh, come on.
Come on, Shul. You see anything?
14.
Oh, Laz rolled a natural 20.
Nice.
Rolled a 1.
Okay.
Which puts my total to 20.
Oh, I get advantage because of grasslands.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That's not better. It's still 11.
So 11.
4.
Losbra.
Natural 20.
Woo!
Rublex.
14.
13. And Ravana.
Natural 1.
Say it. It was a 1.
Okay. Okay,
Plus 4, so it's like a 5. But
Okay.
it was a 1.
so Rubelux and Lasgra, as you guys extend your gaze further into the grasslands, you come across a couple of things as you enter to the river. As the sun begins to descend just further into the horizon, you can see the shimmering waters just out towards the coast of Kraken's tides. You can see the sun kind of glance off the ocean itself. And through a perception check, you're able to see just down the river, quite a long ways, you get to see this mild little black sail in the wind of a cracked down ship that's present as you guys follow the river towards the ocean's edge. You also notice two things in the river bed as you guys continue to go forward. You notice little bits of shinier objects descended underneath the stream as it begins to run from the beached ship as the river continues forward towards you. You can see shiny, lustrous things that the river has carried this way. You can also additionally see, Losgar, you'd be able to see this, that there's different bits of paper and water that begin to descend down, being caught onto the lilies almost. You, with your keen eyes, were able to tell that some of the force of the river itself, you can tell that there are some gold coins that have traced along the riverbed. Dead coming towards the wrecked ships.
I got
Ooh, something
an anime zoom in on my eyes.
I look at the
Only way.
shinies.
Yeah, so, okay. That's coins, money.
Apart from that, you can see someone walking across the other side of the river as you begin to gain on them a little bit further. You can see... you can see some traders coming along the river bed. As they see you walking across behind, they all begin to stop and look at all of you for a second.
I will put up the hood of my cloak.
And you can see, like, there's about some traders going. They seem to be also carrying a mule. All of them seem to be in similar merchant and training garb. But you do see, about 3 elves, a dwarf, and a human. And they all look kind of plain. The elves have, like, longer to blonde hair as they begin to descend back. They seem to all be vaguely related. The dwarves kind of going along, kind of clean shaven and trying to make their way with long black hair that's been streaked back.
But no beard?
But no beard.
Blasphemy.
That's strange.
And additionally, you see a human that seems to be almost covered in hair. Originally, long hair swept back, pointed black beard, and pointed eyebrows. He seems to be about roughly 45 with gray streaks in his hair. And looks over, you can see a small little crest on his left side of a dragon poking out with a head on top of the sword, moving through it. And as you see the crest, you can look down, as you guys move forward, the human almost like takes out a sword in a scabbard and he begins to like open forward, like, who goes there?
Could ask the same of you lot.
Simple
Traders.
travelers.
We've just...
Once he takes a second to look at all of you, he just like immediately puts his sword like back in its hilt. He immediately begins to like relax. He's over at all of you and just like, where you headed?
Better way to greet new friends, isn't it? Well, we're headed to Lakereach.
So, better travel in pairs, isn't it?
Well, I suppose... I mean, we've sort of got a bit of a full house here. How do we know we can trust you?
Well, these 4 idiots, and if I'm not going to hit you, I'm not going to hit you now. Unless we're so close. Better travel in groups.
You know, it wouldn't be the first time a human tried to strike from behind, but, you know...
They can lead.
Well, you
Sounds
guys seem
good to
like a
me.
rather odd bit of folk. You guys didn't draw your weapons when I came by.
No need.
Alright. You can kind of see as he takes takes a minute to look over at you, Egris, as he takes his eyes and he begins to coat and spell forward. Can you please give me a nature check with advantage?
With advantage.
Yes.
Natural 20.
Her cloak is so.
He smells almost like a bear. It's kind of like musky, almost smell almost. And it begins to like radiate off to him as he moves forward. And he looks up at you for a second. He's like, "Oh, that's kind of a little bit unusual." All right.
You want to talk?
Yeah, I do. Excuse me.
Awkward.
Just for a minute. He begins to like take over Blood Run as he begins to like shoot you aside. And he's like, "Take the hood down. You're not fooling anyone." Jeez.
Cloak is really.
I don't want any trouble.
You're not gonna get any.
Can't see nothing.
What's your name?
Egreth.
Egruth.
Egreth.
No last name.
Not for you.
I'm extending an invitation.
Is it? I mean, it's
I don't know.
not
you.
really
You
customary
smell
necessarily to
weird.
give a brand new face all your names, is it?
Very well. My name is Strunchutsky. Strunchutsky. Very simple. I just have something concerning a little bit of a pack roaming around recently.
Pack.
Pack
Just-
of.
Oh. Knowles.
And what exactly do you mean to do with this pack of gnolls?
Oh, nothing. I just thought that this person might be able to get me to a little bit of reason why they might be around. Tracking something. Very important.
What might that be?
Well,
Would I know clans in this area?
Yeah.
Like the gnolls are generally nomadic, but like,
yeah. But that being said, they trade with other gnolls, right?
yeah. So would I know what clan or group this would be?
Well, he hasn't even talked to you about what clan there was. That's why he pulled you aside. And as he begins to move forward, he's like, "Well, I was wondering if you knew about this clan right next to a shrine of Canagan. I wouldn't know anything about that, would you?"
Would I? I sort of just asked.
You can do like a check.
What is their clan symbol?
Didn't get really close enough. They seem to have a little bit of green with some leaves on the side. That's all I was able to tell.
Would it be like an int check for me
That
to
would be
recall?
that would be like a history check or any type of intelligence check that like you're basically it's a history of the clan.
19.
Right? 19. So you'd be able to tell that these particular gnolls kind of stretch more to the north of Lakereach, and their areas of territories are more reserved for some of the trading nobles that need beasts slayed around that area. But yeah, it would just be just north of Lakereach. Apart from that, they usually deal in like animal parts, spell components, tracking down larger monsters to sell to
Okay,
merchants.
so they're not usually very violent.
No,
Hmm.
you would know them as Ingrats.
Ingrats?
Yeah.
Ingrates. I still don't know or trust this guy to really talk to him too much.
Would you care to perhaps elucidate us a little bit on what it is that you're after? What's so important? And maybe we can help each other if you're straight with us.
Very well. I'm in the hunt for something inside the Shrine of Kerrigan. I'm trying to find out a little bit more of why they're there. Usually hyena folk don't hang around wolf shrines.
What do you need from the shrine?
There's something of value inside it that I wish.
Wait,
That makes us very inclined to help.
Is that offensive? Is that an offensive word?
What?
He said hyena folk.
Oh, not really.
Okay.
Shrine of Kerrigan.
Something within it. A little bit of a problem. A little bit of a tinge of lycanthropy around.
I just look pointedly at Egreth. Like, didn't you?
Yes. I did.
Should we pursue?
I'll definitely see where this goes.
What do you mean a bit of lycanthropy?
There's been some merchants that's been trading with a little bit of the Norse beyond their area. Finding a little bit more the cursed around that area. 2 merchants came back within a week. They had to be put down in the square of Lakereach.
Or their lycanthropy?
Mm-hmm.
Were there any
What were their names?
crime? Did they do crime?
Well, I killed a couple people.
Sometimes it is crime. Sorry, it's just... I'm sure you understand. I've had to learn to be a little bit suspicious of the motives of humans over the years.
I'll keep you alive.
Typically, I'm the one that is keeping people alive, actually. That's sort of what I do.
Did you go join the Mabel Slayers then?
I'm already affiliated, you see. I'm First Protector Losgra. I'm the daughter of Kagra. I'm the 3rd heir to the Tower of Mystics. If that means anything to you, and it should.
Sorry, it doesn't.
Well, we can't all be as cultured as the lot of us then, eh?
Afraid not. We keep our magic a little bit more discreet. But what do we know?
Well, where's the fun in that?
Usually fun ends in violence.
So does secrecy.
Yeah,
Are they shit talking each other?
that's
I can't tell.
half the fun.
He kind of looks at you.
As long as everyone involved is on board with the violence, what's the problem? Oh wow, I went really Australian there.
Some people don't particularly like it.
Well, then they wouldn't. If they don't like it, then their fun wouldn't end in violence. I don't understand humans.
He seems like he's just kind of like just trying to breathe a little bit heavier and just trying to just deal with what you just
I'm
said.
just confused. Losger does not understand.
Are you a hunter?
Is not picking up what this man is putting down.
You can kind of take a look at his crest, and you can give me a little bit of a history check.
11.
The crest that was hidden on his left side, it kind of looks a little bit more suspicious, and it kind of has that type of sigil, but you don't immediately identify it from anywhere.
Can I take a look at these hilt of the sword that you said looks like a dragon? See if I can identify.
It was a crest.
A crest?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a crest?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna take a look at that then, because it has a dragon in it, I'm suspicious. Oh, I'm dumb. And -1.
What was it in total?
A 3.
You think that it's actually a merchant's trading guild.
Okay.
Oh, they're merchants.
Of course they are. I kind of want to like insight check this guy just to see if I can get a bead on his like I want something. Is this like I'm just a greedy bastard and I want a thing, or I have a really compelling reason to hide the thing because I'm going to use it to do bad shit?
Or good shit.
You make it the
Like it's like
yeah,
sense
you can,
motive.
yeah, you can give me a roll. Yeah.
Is he up to no? I friggin' don't know. 12.
Yeah, you get the kind of sense that he is being open and forthright, but he does not want to give the specific item that he looks for.
Right.
It doesn't seem like to be any point of like hiding or any type of evil shit. He just doesn't.
He's just being cagey.
Yeah, he's not really being cagey. He just wants to. He knows that something is there, but he doesn't want to say what it is. But you don't get any like evil intentions from that.
Tell me what
So
else you know of these werewolves.
You're not. Alright.
That's just it. There's 2 found on the northern edge of Lakereach. They were found. I was escorting these guys back from Seren. That's all I heard. Normally that's not that big of a deal, but if we wish to keep bloodshed down, maybe the idiots inside Lakereach will not freak out and think every no they see is now a werewolf.
Well, Strawn, that's the first smart thing you've said all day.
How far does it spread?
I'm being kind.
I can see that.
I know that lately some Knoll clans were dispersed as well, to prevent further inconvenience that might be worthwhile.
All the more reason I'm in no hurry to meet them.
Well, it would also benefit if I had at least someone from some clan over to speak to them. They don't necessarily speak my tongue.
Well, perhaps you should seek whatever this item is you're after and leave the diplomacy to us.
Whatever helps. But that was really good for all. We're gonna set out camp. Hope you all have a good night. Wish to meet you in the morning. Should only be about another day's ride.
I think we can all set up camp here. We'll set
You
up.
want to
I think
camp
we'll
with
set up
them?
our camp at a respectable distance,
Yeah.
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 within shouting distance, in case trouble goes down.
Yeah.
I'm always in shouting distance.
Well, yeah. We'll set up our camp a stone's throw away. To it, I think Shoal literally walks to where they're taking camp and throws a rock.
There. That's where.
You guys see one of the dwarf just like looks up for a second. You see his long locks that are kind of like banging. He's like, what?
That's where we make camp. At rock throw.
He just starts like piling rocks around a campfire. Fires the elves just like give this kind of like weird look forward as one of them like just begins to kind of look over with this type of look as they begin to look over at the camp and just be like, and they begin to start mouthing and talking to each other.
Look at him like that. He's a diviner. If anybody can throw a rock and build a camp where your rock landed, it's a diviner.
Wait, are they talking Elvish?
Yeah, they are.
Can I
We
understand?
speak
I
Elvish.
speak Elvish.
Yeah.
I do too. I'm a half
I
elf.
don't.
There. Give me. Are you gonna try and do this sneakily? Not so sneakily?
I'm not sneaking.
I'm not sneaky. I'm just listening.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like,
I don't know, performance check to pretend like I don't understand Elvish?
I
think that'd be deception.
I'm not performing because I'm too stupid.
That'd be deception.
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
alright,
Or
sure.
stealth
Let's just see
even?
how that goes. That's not good. It's 4, so
Well,
I'm
you have
Go
no
ahead.
way of telling. Like the only thing that you can tell is by body language, right?
No, I can speak Elvish.
I know, but like
But-
you're not gonna speak being like I can't hear you. I don't
No,
understand
I'm
what you're
just trying
saying.
to posture myself like I'm just happen to be looking that way.
Yeah, okay.
Right? But
Yeah.
I made like a 4, so.
I'm not pretending. I'm,
I'm, like,
full on just
freaking-
looking at them, listening.
They mostly just begin to talk about how weird these guys are, how rude they were to Strone.
Nothing interesting though?
Yeah, they're just mostly traders. You can tell like one of them has like a particular cape that's present on them, but apart
What
from that, you
color?
can't really tell. Oh, that one's it's a light little green.
Okay, is that pretty uniform or just happens to be green?
Oh, it just happens to be green.
Okay.
It's part of it. You can tell that these guys are like somewhat from the Elven clans that are present.
Okay.
It's not that far of a jaunt away from Saren to Elzeus or even Lakereach.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast message on one of the elves. Be like, so what are you talking about?
oh my god.
You hear nothing.
Well, come on then.
They think
You're
we're
sitting
being
there
rude.
talking about, talking another language like we're not even here. That's kind of rude, isn't it?
They were talking about you!
Yeah, they're talking about you.
Why are you saying like? Look, we know you were talking about us.
One of the dwarves just immediately starts speaking Dwarvish to somebody in store and just strewn there.
I know Dwarvish too.
I know Dwarvish, yeah.
I'm gonna cast message on him and be like, what are you talking about?
I want to listen first.
They're mostly just loudly talking about how intrusive and impolite you guys are at this point. This person's got no respect. We shouldn't have joined up with them. Demonstrator's like, I know. Just give him a little bit of strength.
In
have
Elvish,
no
I
respect,
holler,
apparently.
have a nice night!
And in Dwarvish,
So what's that about?
I say,
what's that about us not having any respect?
You hear the dwarf just being like, well, it's accurate.
Is it?
Yes.
You're talking about us behind our backs, like in other languages that we can't understand you as if we're not even here. That's ruder than anything we're doing.
How would you know? You can't speak any of this.
It's being related to me.
Word for word?
No.
The part about them disrespecting
I say
us.
in Dwarvish, have a good night.
Either one of them is just like, yeah, have a good night.
Right.
The last thing
was
I will.
terrorizing
The last
us.
thing I say with
I
my
just the
whisper
best
is,
languages.
perhaps on the morn you'll conduct yourself in a way that would, engender an atmosphere of trust and mutual respect, and then perhaps we'll do the same. Good night.
That's so rude.
They're being rude. Losgr does not brook no bullshit from nobody.
Okay, if you speak a different language
Yeah.
in front of someone who knows that language, it's not rude that you can hear.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
rude
but
to
yeah.
talk in another language as though, like, obviously you're, like, it's rude to just, like, start talking about someone specifically in a language they don't understand.
I chose the 2 best languages.
Unless you did, it's also important to remember that you shot a lot of shots at Stroon for no reason.
Well, he kind of started.
You started by talking.
He started by going he approached us hand on hilt.
He drew on us. That's very rude.
No, he didn't.
He didn't
just drew a little
draw,
bit.
but he approached
he
hand on
drew
hilt.
a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not a sign of aggression.
That's like taking your safety off.
Yeah, exactly. Even if that's all I'm saying is that goblin culture, you go for your blade, you're going for your blade. It doesn't matter whether you take it out, it doesn't matter whether you stop. If you've going for your
y'all are
blade.
so aggressive.
you have started the confrontation. You started it confrontationally.
My
That's
character
the
is
intent
too.
behind that.
My character too stupid to understand that they were insulting each other.
Egress, while these guys are doing their antics, Egress will be searching the perimeter, looking for signs of life, other trails perhaps we didn't see, and just generally sniffing
like those
around
guys.
until she feels safe enough to go to sleep.
You guys need to accomplish a couple of tasks before going immediately to sleep.
That's going
I
Yeah.
propose we sleep in shift.
I will also be using my last spell slot for the day to do Primeval Awareness
Okay.
and get a sense of life within 6 miles.
What is that exactly? Encapsulate?
I brought it up on my phone. 3rd level, 1 minute per level. Sense whether types of creatures are present within 6 miles of my in my favorite terrain, which we are. Aberrations, celestials, dragons, elemental, fae, fiends, or undead. This feature doesn't reveal the creature's location or number. Only tells me that they're there.
It does reveal. Sorry. Only small question. Look up.
Typically, humans just bristle and clam up when you start insulting them, and then trade bobs back and forth.
How unusual.
I respect that.
I'm going to use my divine.
What was the ones again? Sorry?
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Primeval
what?
awareness.
Yeah,
What specifically?
the types.
I have to go back.
I'm gonna use divine sense.
And that gives Fae, Celestials, Fiends, Undead, yeah?
Yeah, Fae, Celestial, Fiends are undead within 60 feet.
You don't really detect anything right now.
Awesome.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, as you begin to look around, you
So-
don't really see anything. You don't have any.
Aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, undead.
Don't detect any. Well, besides obviously non being right now here next to you in
So
the
I
camp.
detected non.
Non
Yeah.
infinite.
Oh wait, when I use divine sense, do I?
Yeah, you obviously get non.
Yeah.
You don't see
Okay.
anything in usual as the sun begins to descend over the horizon. Now like finally unveils the umbrella, and she's like, finally.
I do not trust the human. He stinks of bear.
There.
Stinks up bear.
A lot of
Well-
people stink of bear.
I mean, I won't be so quick to judge. If someone smells like a bear, maybe turns into a bear, or you wrestle the bear, and you can't. There's a baseline of trust. If someone wrestles a bear, that's not a coward.
When you turn into a bear, you start to smell like one.
I don't know. I never turned into one, so I don't know.
Can I
Neither
just
have
start
I.
making her bed? Because she's just like, yeah.
You guys have food?
Oh.
Can we fish?
Ration.
Yes, you may.
Oh my god. All right. Yeah.
And good eating around here, Egrith.
I mean, I have.
Indeed. Let's go do that. And I pull Lazgra away from everyone else. The reason I'm out here so far from my home, werewolves have infiltrated my clan. and they've taken over. And I've been exiled.
Well, that's not good, I suppose.
So,
Is there anything I can do to help rectify that situation?
if you remember, we went to these moots to talk about the grasslands and possibly like uniting us, but the werewolves came in and immediately shut all that down. And now our clans are divided and split, and I hear of this clan to the north also affected by werewolves. I don't know how far it's spread, but it's serious.
I mean, if they kick you out, I mean,
They kicked me out
It's
because
not-
I was onto them.
it's not like you're the least outspoken person I've ever met. So, I guess I could see why you'd be a problem for someone like that. Well, if you think this is connected, then I trust you. So,
It has to be connected. A shrine to a wolf. Gnolls have no interest in shrines. Our prayer is in blood.
well,
The hunt.
We'll have to get to the bottom of this.
What are you talking about?
Also, Shoal like pops out from behind Lusk and is like,
Werewolves? Oh shit.
he's quite stealthy actually. Not overly, but it's alright.
It is as though I am not even here.
Well, we're off to the side hunting
Yeah.
for food.
I guess I have happened upon you.
I guess I'm by the river trying to like stab a fish to get
Can you
it.
give me?
Vampires.
Oh, goodness.
There's some strange magic afoot in these lands.
So what kind of skill would this be?
Survival.
That would be an attack
Yes.
roll.
Attack
Survival
roll?
would be the
Okay.
fish.
Attack the
We need to
fish.
get, like,
Well,
a
it
plus
depends
4.
on how you're doing it. Are you doing it with like a thing of string and some bait, or are you just like ah?
Oh no! I'm waiting.
Like with your javelin?
Oh yeah, I think
You're
I've like
using a javelin?
I think
You may have javelins.
I think
I
I
definitely have
grabbed.
javelins.
I'm gonna
we
still
find a
quietly just gonna be
javelin?
like, well,
Well,
I won't say anything.
I'm just,
If you trust any of the others with this information, then we can have that conversation, and
I don't know them well enough.
in due time. I think that's about it for it. That's
well, I rolled a 20, so I don't think it matters.
Yeah, you got like 6 or 7 fish.
So I just like was like standing by the water, waiting for them
that's
to
fish.
swim by it, and as like they swim by, just
Yeah, you just like imagine. You just like stay there very, very patient until
Yeah.
one starts to like
Yeah.
move by as the sun, as the moon
Yeah.
begins to rise and the stars begin to
Yeah.
come out. You just like, and just like immediately like, get like 2 on 1 strikes. You just like pull it up and
Yeah.
just like throw it with the
Bam.
back.
I got dinner, guys.
Yay, because I just didn't want to do any of that.
Good hunt.
So I guess I'm going to debone and gut the fish and get a fire going.
I'm gonna trust that you know how to do all those things.
No, I probably don't.
Well, like you have a ranger and like you have some people on your
Yeah.
side.
Someone sees me doing it and they're like, "That's not how you do it."
Yeah, I'm gonna trust that you know how to do that. As the moon begins to rise for a second, you begin to see some subtle outcroppings in the side.
What phase is the
Side.
moon in?
Long away of the horizon, as you can see some figures kind of move their way towards the ship. Could you please, someone please give me a perception roll?
Oh, natural 2.
You got an advantage. It's in your favorite terrain.
Yeah.
15.
Keep forgetting it.
4.
Favorite terrain.
Oh, no.
Right? 23.
Oh,
Damn.
nice.
10.
So Raven got 3. Rubik's got nothing. Lasgra?
I am not looking.
Okay. Night
Just
Shadow?
watching the fish with me.
Night Shadow?
Oh, 15. 15.
Oh, what the?
I think all the
Oh my
goblins
god!
are
I
sort
wrote
of building
Lasgra
camp.
twice. That makes more sense.
Got her on the brain.
Yeah. It's just it's goblins. But yes. So I believe, according to that, Night Shadow and Raveno. As you guys look out, almost as the moon begins to dance along the Kraken's tides, as it begins to sweep in and sweep out with the tides, you can see more stars that begin begin to dance around in the night sky. But you do see about 4 human figures right next to the shipwreck being cast on and creating these lovely silhouettes as they begin to move forward near to the ship. That's just slightly in the distance.
And they're not familiar. They're not like
humanoid.
But we can tell that they're not the humanoids that we've dealt with.
That we're camping next to.
No, these are not the same people.
They're strangers. How many?
About 4.
About 4 of them.
I'm poking the fish.
They seem done. Some light scales begin to like flake off the more you do that.
Yeah.
I am not adept at going quietly.
I shall go.
Should I go come with you two in case?
Are you sneaky?
I
Fish.
am kind of sneaky.
Let's eat fish. Do as you will.
I shall follow.
Where are they going? I just finished dinner.
As you guys go further down the river, you guys kind of go for this kind of 45-minute walk as you guys... I said as you guys and kind of like 3 times that one little sentence. As you walk further down the path towards the cracked ship that's on the side of the ocean bed, just not too far away, you can see black sails that kind of descend lower into the sand, and you see like the humanoids that are there kind of enter into the shipwrecked little ship. And apart from that, you can't really tell, but you start to see some larger tracks that are present on the ground. This is classified as a coastal terrain now. Actually, you know what? It'd still be in the area. It's just the ocean's still there, so you probably still need all this shit. But you do see some larger tracks that are present along the beach side edge, something that you are roughly unfamiliar with.
Nature check.
If I'm following them at a distance that I don't have to try and sneak yet, like I'm trying not to get too close, but also
Yeah, you could probably.
could I examine the tracks from where I am?
Not right now.
I'm not close enough.
22 nature check for the tracks.
You'd be able to identify that these are shoals, kind of like these large krakenous crab-like creatures that move along the coastal side bed. These things, ironically, like to do 2 things. One, they like their space, and 2, they like to eat humans.
Oh.
So as they're present, they're like these huge creatures. They have large crab-like legs that begin to they begin to move down and kind of grip the sand almost. They kind of move to the side, and they're known to be large creatures, particularly deadly.
And the humans have gone into the humanoids rather have gone into the wreck.
The fools go to their deaths.
Yeah, so
I
we should
whisper over to Aisha.
Yeah, we should probably head back. I mean,
That's their problem.
yeah, that's their problem now. It's too late. And then the dragonborn may fish. So. Bye.
So as you guys continue to walk further, you can see Rapida's large black armor just kind of present on the way back.
Oh, we're
So?
flyers.
No danger?
Watch out for trolls.
They're definitely in this area, but I think they'll be busy, like going that way.
They'll be eating those humans
Yeah.
that entered that ship.
They are not in service to the humans, are they?
No. Humans are their favorite food.
That doesn't mean anything. Humans are often in control of things that might otherwise.
You aren't
eat
human,
them.
are you?
Do I look human?
You're about human size. I just sort of like about this size, so maybe.
Then I am what you see. Are we going back?
Yeah. Well,
We will sleep in ships anyway.
yeah. I
Okay.
head back straight to the fish.
As you guys continue to come back down, the wind continues to get this nice smell of cooked fish and fish seasoned perfectly and cooked to perfection. As we begin to bring back the familiar smells of a campfire and cooked fish, Nan just continues to sit in the corner talking about all the buildings that she's burned down in her life. This is the 8th story that she's told.
Oh my gosh.
Ruby's just like this.
I'm going to assume that
Parsons.
Shoal is writing down all of them.
And she's like, and that's how you start a fire from blubber. Particularly inflammable.
Shoal is way in his notes right now, just scribbling away.
Ruby's like,
That's what he does. He documents.
Do you know anything of these werewolves? You know the area. Have they come through? Have you had any encounters with them?
no. I mean, like, I did have one, but he was over and done in a jiffy.
Please tell us.
He died.
Very helpful.
Anticlimactic.
Kept him alive for about a day. Didn't stay very long. Died. Collected a little bit of it. It was mostly used for the gnome. So yeah, mostly it was a little bit of Delim. We just wanted to, and you can kind of tell that she's like, her face gets a little bit more red, and she continues talking about it a little bit more. Like, yeah, we thought that maybe, Abyssal might be able to cancel it out. Turns out it doesn't work that way.
I will take the first watch.
May I?
Sure.
Thank you.
Wait.
I will take the second watch then.
You don't have to tell me twice. And
Yeah, I'm ready.
Watch it.
I start putting my bedroll already. I'm just like,
I'm already doing bedtime
Yeah.
prayers.
I think at this point, all of the goblins have sort of built like a sort of really pretty hasty like lean-to and just thrown a bunch of blankets and pillows, and they're all just curled up in a big nest.
oh, little goblin nest.
Nanda's instead just looks near the fire. She begins to like press her hands in a little bit more as she is like, and she just like begins to like stretch out a little bit more. She begins like taking off some of her clothes as she wades into the water and just starts swimming.
Random.
She kind of like dips into the water almost, and she's not seen for like 15, 20 minutes.
Oh.
as she's-
I'm already asleep.
yeah. She went down to the water and she did not come back up.
I'm awake for this.
I don't think I am. So.
I'm not.
He waits up for a while. Waits up for a while, and you guys hear about half an hour later, she just begins to crawl out of the water with like a large little bit of like a treasure chest and some gold pieces around. and she just like spits out water at me.
Oh my god.
Immediately as you just begins to like pull it back up, and she's like, "See, money, no problem."
Was this from the shipwreck?
No. She just like begins to like pull out the chest a little bit more, and she opens it.
How much did you find?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just how much I stock here.
You left this here.
Yep. Begins to pour it up, you can see like 600 gold pieces that are just present. And she's like, "This will get me through a month." she just begins to like just pour all of it in, like wet and stuff it all into the small little bag that she has. And she just starts just throwing it all in. And she takes the chest and she kicks it back in the river. You know, tell some other things. Like she also like you can tell there's like some fish bones that are near her almost by her shoulders. She just brushes them back off and she starts sitting back down, pulls out a book and starts reading.
What's she reading?
She's reading a trashy fantasy novel.
I love those.
It's called The Gates of Swill. It's part 3 out of 4 books.
Oh.
And it is a shitty romance novel involving alcoholism.
Who's it by?
It is by Bedell M. Hall.
The Gates of Soul.
Oh my goodness.
I'm asleep for all of this.
Yeah, me too.
Not me.
Sleep.
I see this.
You hear a slight dragonborn snoring.
It's just like a really trashy romance novel that she has. She just continues to read it. You can tell like a little bit more of color has returned to her skin, but by color I mean like the absence of color completely, as she feels like a little bit more healed, and her skin is a little bit more pale and more alabaster. Moves over and she just like covers up and just starts reading. She looks over at you and she's like, "Doesn't get much sleep, huh?
Nope.
Not tired?"
Nope.
Uh-huh.
I only need 4 hours in a night. I meditate.
Elf?
Do I look like an elf?
I don't know. You're kind of dressed up in an entirely weird garb.
It's affixed to my face.
Whoa.
Like permanently?
Mm-hmm.
What are the rest of your body?
I'm stuck.
Uh-huh. So do you burn? Do you eat food? You poisoned?
Why?
I'm just curious.
Aren't worried about me?
Oh no, I'm just simply curious.
Ah. Well, you'll see.
I'd prefer not to.
Then you won't.
Uh-huh. All right.
Is it a good book?
It is trashy and it's wonderful.
And there's a moment where you can see that there's like I really want to know more about the book, but I'm also trying to leave her alone. So I just kind of...
He's rolling an insight check on you. She could tell immediately what you're trying to...
Oh.
And she's like, you want to read it? You want to read the first one?
Yes.
She immediately pulls out a book and she just like throws it immediately in your direction. She's like, stop staring at me, thanks.
Roll to catch.
No, I'm not going to catch it.
It just like bounces off your plate and falls onto the ground.
And then I will pick it up.
Yeah.
And I will also begin to read it.
This one is called The Doors to Sobriety.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited. Like, it's hard to read expressions because the mask doesn't change in any way.
Yeah.
But there's like a little like...
I mean,
shake.
I'd
A little
imagine
shake.
you'd kind of subconsciously start having like
there
ticks
are
of body
tells,
language, so people
yeah.
can kind of.
I mean, it's not for anyone else's benefit.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
often alone. So this is new.
That's true.
But, like, yeah, I kind of shake the book a little bit. Like, as if there's, like, I want to shake the story out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is all I do for my watch.
Okay.
You are
Do you
relieved.
start reading
Go
it?
to bed.
I will go and sit. And go and do that.
Okay.
For 4 hours of this, for, like, the next 4 hours, I will meditate.
Okay. I thought you were trying to like say something else.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Yeah, I know.
22 perception, just to be a stoic guard.
As you begin to look forward, you can kind of see some wolf packs that are kind of descending across the river, almost, that are coming in your direction from where you came from, as they begin to sit up perch on a hill just on the other side opposite to the camp. And as you begin to look over, you can kind of see with your dark vision, they got like yellow eyes almost, and one of them is particularly larger. It seems to have almost 2 heads as it begins to look forward, as 2 pieces of eyes are seemingly fixed upon you. Kind of yellow eyes. As you begin to look forward, your hair kind of stands up on end. Can you give me a nature check, please?
Wait, a two-headed wolf?
Oh, no.
A two-headed
22.
wolf? That's what I thought.
Pardon?
21, sorry.
21?
No.
You can tell this is a death dog.
Oh.
From a distance as it begins to go forward. You can also tell, like, as your hairs begin to rise up on your forearms ever so slightly, that there's this kind of like black, almost cloud that kind of whiffs forward in sharp edges as it kind of descends almost around the death dog as it begins to look down into the hill.
Do I have my spells back?
Yeah, well, you rested 4 hours. I don't think so. I think you got a full 8 to get your stuff back.
Shit. Okay.
Did I get 8?
Well, yeah, you didn't do any of the checks. So yeah.
I am
Whose
good.
tent am I near?
Well, nobody really set up tent. Everyone just more or less like.
I'm out
Yeah,
open.
yeah,
I'm just like
yeah.
sitting on the ground.
I mean, the goblins still look kind of open.
I mean, I had like a
Yeah.
bed
it's
roll.
sheltered. Just a roof, basically.
Are the wolves approaching us?
They seem to be studiously looking at you from a distance.
Okay, I will only sound an alarm if I get a sense that they will approach us. I will just keep an eye on them. Tend to the fire and hope they'll just naturally keep away from that.
Okay.
I think Laz is an early riser too. She usually wakes before dawn.
Apart from that the night goes on without incident. The wolves kind of disperse around the midnight as it begins to revert back into the early morning day. In the early morning, the sun begins to rise again from just around Lakereach as the sun begins to cast this kind of darkened shadow of the city itself. Some higher buildings perching forward from the sun itself as it begins to rise. You can kind of tell there's a little bit of mist rising off of the lake itself. The ocean. God, I gotta get used to this fucking thing again.
Ocean.
The ocean as it begins to set.
The salty lake.
Yes, the large salty lake. The large puddle. The extremely large puddle of lake. That is an ocean.
The mother of all puddles.
The ocean-sized.
Ocean-sized puddle.
The ocean-sized puddle. As it continues to go over, you can see this large kind of outcropping of city gates and these large kind of spiked rams that descend outside of the city's docks to protect itself from
Wait, did we head out already?
far adventurers. And you guys begin to wake and
I am
wake up in the
awake
morning.
already.
You guys kind of smell like this sweet salty air as it awakes, and the dogs have dispersed.
I'm probably awake. I've been studying my spells.
As the other camp
crack
begins
of
to get
dawn.
up.
I've woken up to do my prayers.
I've woken up to just polish my crystal skull. Or clean it, sorry.
Sounds like a euphemism.
I will sleep.
Hey, Egress, are there a lot of cliffs around here?
No.
Nothing, any stuff for people to fall off of? I'm kind of holding two of the panels of my cloak, which have spells written on them. Like, I don't know which one.
I don't know what you seek.
Well, what I want to... okay, so I can do this thing where if you fall, I can make it so you don't get hurt. But if there's nothing to fall off around here, you probably don't need that one, do I?
Well, like if you fall and trip?
Or like off a ledge.
Oh. That's boring.
The closest ledge would probably be that beached ship.
Okay.
Or perhaps a taller building in the town.
Gotcha. I'm just preparing spells.
I'm reading. I'm freaking reading that book.
Okay,
think
as
we
you
should-
read the book a little bit further, the main character is just like this character who the main character is a character. The main
Thanks, Koban.
the character itself is a very poorly written sad sap who finds the lovely comfort of alcohol before they descend into utter madness and need to seek help, where they find their half-elven other lover who is addicted to gin. And they venture through adventures in sobriety after one of them dies and then he starts drinking again. You're halfway through the book.
I am having the best time.
and it's just trashy.
It's
very
it's
bad.
just garbage,
You
but
can tell it's not worth the ink.
Yes.
but I love it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm loving it anyway.
I hesitate to go towards this other Knoll clan because of how recent my exile has been, but I really want to get down to this werewolf business. What do you think we should do?
I mean, if they're connected, they might know about the whole business concerning you. But
Why would they benefit from... It's so...
well, perhaps they're just, bending the knee to someone more powerful than them that wants to control them.
Or
not be their
control
decision.
the grasslands.
Is there any strategic value to this area that
Well-
might benefit werewolves?
I mean, a united grasslands would be a sizable army.
But it kind of sounds like
It could be a threat to any major city around here.
you can't.
Goblins.
The way you
and
made it sound like
gnolls.
the werewolves kind of scuttled the whole unification attempt.
Where are the clans? They're scattered to the winds. The best of us have been exiled, and all who remain are just submissive dogs, tricked by magic.
Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
What are you talking about?
Knoll stuff.
Oh! I go back to my book. For like 2 seconds, I'm... Needst thou help?
Maybe. The traitor who camped over there. Are they still there? They're like...
Yeah, I think they're probably waking up too, huh?
Yeah, I'm already
Yeah.
awake.
Yeah, is their camp
Yeah.
still...
Yeah, they're starting to get ready and get packed.
Oh, yeah.
Pack the dwarf is currently pissing out the last of the embers that is there.
How unsightly.
That looks dangerous.
Hey, friends.
That
Hey,
looks
friends.
Okay, I will...
You can tell Strong just continually walks down towards your camp and he's like, we're headed out. You all headed the same way?
We head north and east. I think I would like to go with you to this Knoll clan.
Sounds like an idea. Let's go drop these bastards off in Lakereach and we'll go from there. You don't need to head anywhere in Lakereach, do you?
Knolls don't do well in human settlements. And I say that aloud to everyone, not just him.
Or what would you rather do? Wait outside the city gates?
If I must.
You're with us. We can negotiate your
Yeah.
passage.
I mean, I'm somewhat... My name might carry some weight around these parts. I'm not really sure how far.
You know how they treat hobgoblins as well.
Well,
Not as badly.
no.
Well, if we stick together, maybe, they'll just leave us alone. They'll
Tell you
know
what,
that
if you're with me, you're with me. If you're not, then...
Does anyone have a disguise kit? No
Ruby's
bards?
like really quiet during this whole conversation
No
about
bards.
Lakereach.
Pretty sure they'll let you in. All we need to do is just convince someone of the plutocracy that you're worth their while.
You know I got your back, so...
I don't think I've ever been into a city before.
You're missing very
Not
little.
that great. They kind of smell... It's too many people all clustered up.
I know some connections in. We can make it seem as though you're...
From afar, they look like hives.
Not inaccurate.
We just have to convince them that we're all somewhat valuable. Can't be too difficult. We have merchants right there.
And a paladin.
And a diplomat.
Like Ruby starts to like try to shrink.
What are you cowering from?
Nothing.
Really?
I feel no need to go to this town. If you wish to if you wish to not go in, I will stay with you.
Weren't arrested there?
I'm a paladin.
Paladins get arrested.
I feel no need to go in.
Do you want some company while we're waiting outside then?
I do not need company or protection.
Okay, sure. That's how she says it too.
I mean, I think some of us probably want to go and see if Finnegan is extant. Because Finnegan's shop is here, somebody was saying, right?
Yeah,
Was that Non was telling us that?
No, I was telling us about the gnome shop was there.
Oh, the gnome shop,
So
okay.
I was right. I felt like I was losing my mind. Okay.
Yeah, Laws is continues to be very confused between the gnome and Finnegan.
Finnegan's not a gnome.
It's because he sounds
Yeah.
like he should be.
Yeah.
Well, it's because we
You
were
were
trying
an
to talk
imp
about
named
both.
Kevin, where would you steal a Finnegan?
Was
Where
that
would
Kevin?
you steal him to?
I thought.
No, Kevin was the other one.
Right.
But they're in league together,
So
probably.
all imps are called Kevin.
They're all in league together. I mean, Kevin might know.
We have Kevin and we have other Kevin, yes?
Yeah, I'm going to turn to Non and be like,
The
well,
Kevins.
I mean, we should
And
probably...
Mevin.
Can somebody please do an insight check on the name Kevin, please?
We know that's
No.
not his
Okay.
name.
That is definitely his name
We
forever.
just started calling him
Oh my
that.
God.
Yeah, it's because he was lying.
Yeah, I know.
Kevin.
You lay in the bed, you make Kevin.
All imps are now named Kevin.
True.
Yeah, so I'm going to just kind of ask Non, like, maybe if we should see if we can glean anything, like, go... Because probably, at this point, the gnome would not return to his shop, maybe. But yeah, I'm just gonna generally ask her if she thinks we should go check out his shop, and then if he's not there, then maybe we can find some information.
He's gotta leave something behind. Maybe it's a little bit of scent, maybe it's a little bit of spell book, maybe it's some stupid plans, maybe he's careless.
I know you're not a big fan of Cities Egrith, but perhaps there's something there you can get the scent of this gnome.
Just because I am good at smelling does not make me a bloodhound.
No, but you're the best tracker we've got.
True.
Either way, I'm going to find out. Well, I can find out.
So, are we ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
As Storm begins to lead forward with the other merchants.
Okay, so who's going in and who's not, though? We should probably establish that.
I'm not going in.
I'm
Ruby, why do you
city?
hesitate?
Okay.
It's like, well, as a red dragonborn, I'm not fully welcome in human cities.
It's like a null and a...
This close to Elidrat's waist? We're gonna have a hard time stopping you.
I mean, I don't know if any of us are fully welcome in human settlements.
It's like... Just come with us.
Because you are affiliated with Elidrat the Dread, it's one of those things where like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, your dad's a sack of shit.
Yeah.
but maybe you're not a sack of shit.
Yeah.
Walk with me.
Maybe your mom was a nice person. Maybe she's who knows?
It is roleplay wise.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Whoever's the strongest will just slam open the gates and we'll all walk in slow motion.
We will vouch for you the same as the other one.
What's our entrance song, do you think?
The
John
Jungle
Cena.
by X Ambassador.
It's a horn!
Yeah.
It must be played with trumpet.
Do you want to know he wrote that himself?
Are you serious?
Yeah, he has
That's
he has 2 rap albums.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Let's come back though.
I mean,
it's
Shinsuke Nakamura's
10
had
to
some good
6.
entrance
How?
songs.
When do we want to wrap up by? Like
Yeah,
6:30,
should
6:20.
we- Maybe we'll like investigate the gnome's shop and
we
then
can certainly
maybe leave
play
it
a little
there.
longer, but we should decide what
Yeah.
our cutoff time is.
Okay.
'Cause we didn't start until what, 2:45?
Yeah, we started really late.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oopsies.
So yeah, I'm good to go.
Okay. As you guys continue walking forward with
You
Strund,
good, Danny?
going forward with his little mercenary
Gonna
band,
keep going?
his little merchant band, as he continues to walk forward, you guys get the final kind of chance to look over that shipwreck. And you can kind of see.
Oh, keep going.
You can kind of see a little bit more on the side. You see no tracking of the humanoids that are there, but you do see some more of those familiar tracks, Bloodmaw, that have been on the side.
The crab
So-
tracks?
yeah.
The wolf tracks?
Chulls.
The choles.
These are everywhere.
Yeah. Or one
What's
very
everywhere?
mobile one. That kind
Watch
of
out for choles.
No, like Ruby doesn't know what they're talking about.
They're like,
You'll be fine. They like humans.
What likes humans?
the crab things.
They're giant
Crab
crab
people.
monsters.
Ah, the crabs.
Walk like
don't
crab.
forget those.
Watch out for crabs.
That's like a part in the book.
Could be fun. Could be
Oh,
a
you're at that
fun
part
fight.
already?
It's excellent.
That's awesome.
As you continue forward on the trail.
As much as we've been a little bit adversarial with Strawn, I'm just gonna turn to Strawn and just be like, if those things, if Egress says they like to eat humans, just stick with us if they show up.
I think that's important to note.
If you're traveling with us, then you're one of us until you prove otherwise.
It's good. Hopefully we can get in there and get a little bit more rest and relaxation before we try and go to that shrine. We'll see. As you guys continue walking down the path, you kind of like whips and winds over. You can see some large banners, the Lakereach sigils that are present and hung along the sides, kind of like making a small little trail that way. You can kind of see the sigil itself is just like this large eye with a little bit of an X through it. You can kind of see its colors are like red and gold as it stretches around the top of it with three golden coins kind of like stacked on top of each other. As you guys continue walking down the path, you see these large black and kind of orange gates in some places, like rogue stones put in. kind of almost randomly as the gate is aligned. You can see two very heavily armed guards at the gate. They both seem to be wearing this type of this black armor tinted in certain edges with pure gold. As it begins to move forward, they seem to be in these heavily plated armors, and they control the gates as they open up their hands like this to get everyone to stop. And that's when Strun walks over. He's like, "Right, we got some people in. We just wish to get them through. No problem. What's the ice fee?" And the guards look at all of them like, 30 gold each, at least. And
You want to levy taxes on First Protector Losgra, daughter of Kagra, third heir to the Tower of Mystics and keeper of the Shattered Star? I'm a diplomatic envoy.
then as a diplomatic envoy, you should have the money.
Well, we tried.
Oh my goodness.
Do you
do we know
really
if
want to
this is a
be?
shakedown or if this is normal?
Insight check.
You really want to
Yeah, insight.
know,
Is he taking us down?
Natural one.
listen?
I do not know. I do not know these
18.
strange
Do
human
you
customs.
really want to be the one?
Can I answer that question first?
Yeah.
So Lakereach is pretty famously a plutocracy that, like, the people who kind of run the town, the power structures that is inside, is very much dependent on how much money you have. So basically, some of the history and the kind of the of Lakereach itself is that Lakereach itself was originally not a walled city, but somebody needed to pay for the wall. So they started charging taxes to get people through the wall. This is not so much a shakedown as a fairly common security exemption.
You know, I mean, the Tower of Mystics, we're a very powerful organization. Do you really, you personally, want to be the one that started off diplomatic relations between the Tower of Mystics and the exalted town of Lakereach on the wrong foot? Do you want that on your head? Do you want the powers that be
Persuasion.
be
Sounds
putting
like
all of that
intimidation
on
thing or something,
you?
Yeah. Is that intimidating or something?
No.
That's a persuasion.
No,
Yeah.
it's persuasion.
Oh, that's
Intimidation is like, do it or I'll break your kneecaps.
Oh yeah.
Persuasion is like, here are some compelling reasons to do
I
that.
actually
yeah.
have intimidation.
I'm trained in
Pretty good one.
That was good.
I only have 10 gold.
Oh my god, I'm really good at persuasion.
16 persuasion.
Nice.
All right. You get through.
What's your name? I'll make sure I put in a good word for you.
Mine.
Assuming you let my companions.
I
Well,
said
this
you.
is my retinue.
I said you and the rest of your little troop. Name's Kenneth.
Ken. Spell that for me. Kevin.
Kinnete.
All right, Kevin. I'll put in a good word for you.
If you can physically see his
Oh my
face,
God.
you can feel the energy of his exalted eye roll.
I wink at
Almost
him.
like a small breeze that blows in your face.
I'm gonna wink at him and then just breeze by just a little too close to him and just as a sort of power move.
yeah.
Wow.
He barely even moves.
So
For a
awkward
minute
to
as he begins to move
watch.
forward.
I don't
Isn't
bump
it-
him. I
Don't
just
worry,
kind of.
Kevin, you're doing great.
Oh my god.
As you guys enter, he doesn't open the gate. He waits for the rest of them to go through. The merchants that are right next to Strun immediately just pay all their fee, Strun's included, as they continue to go through. Now it's just like, whatever. Then she just like, instead of dealing with it rationally, she just takes a humongous bag full of gold and just chucks it immediately at the guard who immediately gets it, and he's like, and just leaves the rest of you.
These are all my retinue.
4, otherwise you're going to have to charge extra.
All right, Kevin. If you want to be the one that gets blamed for splitting up the companions.
It's a pretty easy price.
It is like
full
super not
disclosure,
though
I don't know
because
how much gold I have.
no, you did specifically tell us that whatever are the starting gold of our background, we should have that in copper because of the bad economy. So,
We got broke.
yup. Well, I mean, I got the goblins in. That's
I'm like tapping on my mask, thinking. like, yeah. There's like, you can hear the chainmail kind of like.
I'm gonna.
Trying to
I
think
am.
about how to handle this.
I'm gonna pull out one of those gems that we got, and just like tap Kenneth on. Like, does he have like a pocket anywhere?
No, he just has like some things, like a large amount of bags that are signed on his belt.
Okay. I am gonna take his hand and put the gem in it.
Okay.
Be like, Kenneth, I'm sure we can arrange something.
This will get 2 of your friends in.
How about
It's a pretty shiny gem.
And it's worth 25 gold each. Consider it a favor.
This city sucks.
yeah.
Come here.
Well, I
So,
still
okay,
have-
who does that got? The goblins are in.
Nice, nice.
Non is in. And that leaves the other 4, right?
No, you said it would cover 2
Gem
of your
can
friends.
cut
No,
2.
you and your
And
little
the
troop are
gem,
covered.
yes,
Your troop
the
are
troop
covered.
is covered initially.
So that
Non
means
covered
2
herself.
yeah, so 2 are covered.
And 2 got covered by that gem.
Yeah, so only 2 are left.
How about if I throw in this encyclopedia of monsters that we had from that mansion? It's very useful, and knowledge is power. So
Give me a persuasion.
I will, because I have really good persuasion. Which is 5 plus 5 is
Rolls
10.
Jackie,
He
put
got-
that
he-
dice in jail.
He rolled a natural 11. He goes in and he's just like,
What kind of sleight of hand bonus would a weasel get?
You talk up your name.
ooh, a really high
You're a
one.
night
But he's around with
shadow.
another guard, so like,
Okay. I'm not gonna.
I mean, like,
Sweet
oh,
now.
maybe
On
just
another
start with the
day.
guard,
You can still try.
huh?
Can I try? Yeah, yeah.
That's all but 2 of. I mean, we have 2 more gems.
You realize who I am.
Do you realize who I am? I'm a night shadow.
I mean, you should pull that.
Yeah, that's how most shadows work.
Wow.
No, they don't! Kenneth, there's no shadows at night!
My name's Kevin. I thought you said that already.
The shadows come from the sun. Did you go to are you educated at all? The sun casts the shadows. There's no shadows at night.
You can kind of feel like a physical smile, like immediately. You kind of see like the slightest little tinge of your plate armor like move up ever so slightly as to declare a grin.
Oh, Kenneth.
Oh my god.
Now,
Non, can
how
you
about
please
that
spot our
little
friend's entries?
little physics lesson? Does that get anybody in?
He's no longer listening to you.
I've elevated your mind a little bit.
And like he's no longer.
Yeah, Non's gone.
Oh.
Non's like reading the
She
door.
left
No,
it.
no, she's just reading the door. They haven't actually opened up the city gates yet.
Oh, okay.
And she's like,
Can you help us make this over?
Sure, but they owe me.
I'm sure you'd like to be rid of us
Take the favor
as
from
much
me.
as we would.
Didn't we lift a bookshelf
Yeah, we
off
did.
the
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe save your
How many
Yeah.
times?
life.
How many times must a person be asked to pay for such a thing?
That bookcase was at least 40 gold worth. But fine. she immediately like just like instead of like dealing with it rationally, she just takes out the money for her purse and just like throws it at him, and you can see like a whole bunch of gold coins just immediately like dent the inside of the plate armor, just like change it and just falls right down to the ground.
Oh.
And
Put in a good word for you, Calvin.
All the coins.
and Kenneth like looks up at the city gate above him, and he just goes like. And when that happens, the city gates just begin like. As it begins to open forward, you can see a scouring, just field of tents and like little handy shacks and like broken down tents, campfires, shit on the ground, urine staining the rest of the hallways. You can kind of see like a small little walkway in, but most of these people are incredibly poor. You can see different bits of humans and elves and dwarves as it begins to extend out into the city gates. You get this horrible smell of urine that's running off. A lot of unwashed bodies are
This is why
present.
I hate this
As
city.
the tents begin to open, you get a fresh smell of whatever it is they were cooking in their tent. You can smell of moldy bread, deep trenches of dirt that kind of stretch in, rocks in random places. You can see like 4 humans just like fighting for like 3 or 4 cold copper pieces that are on the ground. As they just begin to like rustle them off immediately and splash onto the ground as the sun just begins to cake onto the mud below and begins to burn it, almost breaking. Going forward and walking.
If you use prestidigitation to clean something, does it stay clean permanently?
I don't think it does it? It only stays that way
I
for
think
an
it
hour at
says
most.
for like a.
It just says you instantaneously clean or soil an object.
I think it's more like like dust.
There's only a certain
Rust.
amount of soil that you're.
Well, yeah,
basically
like a
allowed
cubic
to
foot.
live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
But I don't know if it's permanent or not.
I don't think it's.
Yeah. No, it's not permanent. It'll get dirty again, but
Yeah.
like it doesn't fade like an illusion. It'll just
Okay.
get dirty naturally.
Like I like certain of these effects. Well, no, I mean it won't protect it from dirt, but like certain
Yeah,
of these,
but I think it
I
will-
feel like the cleaning it would be clean.
Yeah. That's always been my reading of that.
Because once you clean it, you clean it. Like something like changing the
It's
flavor.
not like you're making it appear to be.
Yeah.
As it begins to, as you guys continue to walk the trail a little bit more, you can tell that some of the tents and some of the campfires begin to
Probably my friend
start
Eric.
and stop almost immediately as you're starting to see like small little shanty shacks and bits of collected material, like little bits of wood, rotted wood, bits of metal from the gate, stones arranged in a way, clay huts that begin to extend further into the city limits, and finally you begin to see kind of old-fashioned stone that begins to extend forward. More and more people are beginning to look at you all.
I bring my
did,
cloak
I did,
up.
by the way, stop at this tent city, and me and Shoal kind of passed out most of our rations.
Yeah.
We get but we have like a tracker. We don't need rations.
I have also distributed. Like I happen to have rations. Not
Yeah.
sure where I got them. Not sure why I have
To the
them.
people there?
But I have just.
That's probably why. So in case you
I
have
contribute.
companions.
I contribute to.
Yeah.
I-
So we're just gonna
I
pass.
Probably
out some.
have it from my pack, so I guess I do as well.
Are you going to start giving it to people there?
Yeah.
Okay, so the moment that you start handing out rations, you can see just like hordes of people begin to descend outside from the tent.
Bad
and
idea.
And
Too
they
late.
begin to like
Too late.
run over
Bad idea.
towards you. Who's handing it out first?
That's all right. I'm handing them out.
So they immediately begin to flood you.
duck into
20
an
of them
alley.
just begin to like grab you in your pouch. They just begin to grab things off of you. And,
I'm
like,
gonna bellow at the crowd.
Wait, did they start like? Is this gonna be like count as an attack roll to grab me?
Well, I guess I'm
What's
gonna
your
do
AC again?
intimidate, and I'm gonna be like, back off.
It's 12 if I haven't cast anything, but if they're trying to grab me, I'm probably gonna cast.
Yeah, you
shield.
can start to see there's like a whole bunch of them begin to like grab your rations and separate from the
As
central
soon
group.
as
Some
one of them tried to grab me, though.
Yeah, they just begin to swarm on top of your rations. The city guards begin to like
I cast
down.
shield though. As soon as one of them tried to grab me,
So I'm going to use intimidation and tell them
Which
to back
means
off,
my
and you're gonna
AC
like
would have
see
been-
the fire in the back of my
I
throat.
will-
so my AC would have been 17 against that.
Okay, so you can kind of see like one hand that immediately tries to grab you, but it seems like the force field just goes and just diverts
Yeah.
their grab immediately. But you can still sort of see as they're starting to swarm
Right,
around.
now, I'm
Yeah.
trying to help you lot.
So I got.
If we can get orderly, don't get all grabby on the third end of the Tower of Mystics.
I got a 17 on my intimidation.
Okay, as you begin, they all begin to like take up a look at you for a second as the fire begins to bellow at the
Yeah.
end of your throat. As all of them just like start to diverge, and you can see 2 or 3 elves just be, like fall down immediately as they both begin to run to the tents. You can see more of the more humans just begin to move forward.
I put down all the rations on the ground
Yeah.
and just
We
walk
only got
away.
This is a
That makes
mess.
sense.
The moment that you
No, I
start-
would have taken them off of you, and I'm handing them out. I'm like, now, if you can all calm down. We only got so many.
You can tell that not a lot of it, like a lot of them are really, really hungry, and they are not really paying
Generosity
attention.
is going to get us killed.
Yeah.
Well, if it does, it does. There's worse ways to go out.
You see Non being like, "That's a terrible decision."
Too late.
It's been
So it's just the three
Not
of
that
us.
not that I have any of my valuables on me. Like my all of my anything.
I'm not
own.
directly involved.
No.
I was just like, oh, you're
All the
giving
stuff I
rations,
own
you can
would
take
have
these.
been
I'm not
on,
using them.
Yeah.
Well,
I tried to keep it under
I'm
control,
Holly.
but
I probably
I
try to do the right thing.
still.
Belong to the
You're
crowd.
finding it
Yeah.
very, very difficult to hand
But
out
whatever.
rations. Like,
If they're gonna mob me, they're gonna mob me.
yeah,
It's not like goblins aren't used to that kind of thing.
You can start to see like one immediately grab the rations and he begins to run towards the city gate, and it's just before he gets out of eye line, like 3 dwarves just immediately jump him and just start beating the shit out of him.
Oh my goodness.
Like the more you begin to grab rations,
Humans and
I'm
gnolls
gonna-
have more
I
in
am,
common
however-
than I thought.
You know, as soon as someone tries to beat him up, I really want to cast Ray of Frost on one of them. I'm not gonna
Alright.
try to kill them. No, I'm not gonna. Actually, no. I'm just
okay.
gonna draw my sword and
Yeah.
approach.
Yeah, I'm gonna like grab Lazarus by the collar and start
Yeah.
hauling her down an alley.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Do
No,
a
I
strength
shrug
check.
off my cool cloak, and you can see that I'm fucking. My clothes are fucking sick.
Yeah.
It's all like blacks and reds and
My clothes.
shiny colors. There's like semi-precious stones all embroidered into them. But anyway,
Lazarus, we have to
I have
go.
my swords out, and I'm gonna basically, I think my time right now is going to be trying to keep this under control.
Draw stall,
As
draw
more
stall.
of them begin to riot, you can kind of see that more of them are just trying to grab rations. All of the people are like starting to crowd around you guys as people who are.
Yeah, I'm just standing near the
generous.
rations with my swords out, ready.
Yeah.
And if somebody tries to hurt somebody else for rations, and I'm telling that to them.
Hey, Night Shadow, what's your AC?
Oh god!
But I mean, y'all.
It's
I'm just gonna
13.
be like, you can go. I'm just gonna try and make sure nobody gets killed here.
You can kind of see like something immediately
too
goes
late.
by you and just begins to like swipe past your back almost. That's about it.
Okay, that's not bad. That's good.
And,
Guys,
and in the meantime, I
This
am
went
attempting.
well.
Let's-
attempting to stab anyone who tries to hurt somebody else for their food.
Yeah, you can kind of tell they're starting to crowd around you right
can't
now.
cause
As you can
this.
kind of see the opening to the other end of the city,
But
over towards the shanty town.
I think in general, I think Lazgra is going to get her cloak back. She'll get her cloak back. It probably generally floats toward her at all times because it's magically attuned to her. But I think that's how Laz is going to spend her day now, is trying to reason with these people, explain to them, try and find out, what why they don't have enough food, and try to learn as much as she can about everything. And that's probably her day while everyone else investigates.
Okay, as you guys begin to get to the end of the town and you start talking to some of the locals there, you can get kind of the idea that the reason why they are kind of in this area is because the outside is. You talked to a couple of them. And you're able to tell that the area outside is extremely dangerous, as you've been able to tell. But they make people do a security tax every so often to be in the gates, and it's either that or you're kicked out. Most of them have to make at least 3 gold a month to donate to the gate.
Okay. Yeah, Laz is definitely that's her day.
Yeah.
She's just talking to them and finding out as much as she can. And
Yeah. So 1 gold is considered a lot of
I know.
money here, and most people who deal with food or shelter or rental spaces deal in coppers or silvers.
And yeah, definitely trying to figure out from these people what the sort of command structure, what the political structure, find out as much as she can.
You can
about
tell
what's going on.
kind of intricately. This is kind of an odd plutocracy. The people who are closer into the city pay a lot more for their things. It's more or less a trading outpost that's extremely classed by how much money that somebody makes and how valuable are their skills.
I think the rest of this we can handle between sessions, because this is that's all Lazarus going to do today.
Yeah.
Is just gather as much information from these people as she can.
But seeing that you're talking to them, can you just give me a perception check with advantage?
Perception check. Shoal didn't stay with me though. 13.
You do see some people around the camp who seem to be a little bit more armored. They seem to have a little bit more daggers attached to their legs, and you can tell there's this large brown stripe that kind of descends all the way down to their armor. It kind of folds into black, so you can kind of tell these odd little markings or tattered patterns along their arms, almost like tally marks. But you can identify them as the Scourge, which, from talking to some of the locals here, they are more or less like a group designed to kind of steal and give back to the lesser portions.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to, as I piece that together, definitely kind of get maybe subtly figure out kind of by secondhand get information about where I would meet with them to talk about this, because probably you don't want to meet with them out in the open. So that's generally what her goal is here. But I think we can probably handle specifics of that between sessions.
Yeah. Sure.
So the rest of them, Shoal's going to the investigation though, because he's here.
So as you guys continue to go along, Strun just begins to move past what you guys continue to go until one of the merchants begins to move around for a second, and as you begin to leave past the shanty towns, you can see a lot of houses that are just barely contained. And the moment that happens, you see a rogue crossbow bolt immediately fire into your area, and you can see down one of them is attached to the note that it says right down to the bottom. You can't really read it immediately because it's a little bit further away, but that's about it.
Shoal cast
I will
major.
go to collect it.
Shoal cast major.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up to it. What does it say?
As you go over to the crossbow ball to kind of reach down, and you can kind of
Yeah.
see it immediately open. It says "rate" in the bottom of it in very, very clear handwritten letters. Gotcha. As 3 or 4 crossbows begin to go out of the side of the shantytowns and just aim immediately down towards you. And we're gonna start this off next session.
Oh,
How far away
Got
is that?
you.
Gotta at
Yeah.
least know if it hits.
Yeah.
How far away is that?
Oh, they're like up on roofs.
No,
Right.
but did Laws see this from the
I'm gonna use
tent
my
city,
defender
or are they too
thing
far away
to
for that?
Oh, you guys
We'll
will
do
check
that
time.
next
Not
week
probably intense.
on Quests
no.
and Queers.
Yeah.
Do we get hit?
So Laws took a side quest
Yeah.
to do her own thing.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have a little bit more of the encounter with the Scourge
Ooh.
of Lakereach.
interesting.
Oh, is this the Scourge?
Oh, good. They're
Well,
robbing
the
us
Scourge,
now.
like I wouldn't mention that the Scourge was in a little bit of a thing.
Yeah.
That being said, people who are attacking you right now aren't necessarily the Scourge.
Okay.
Thank you for watching Quests
Yay!
and Queers. We have been Mav, Charlie, Ada, Brett, Jackie, and Mark in association with Toronto Gamers. Music by Fox and More. Danny is our tech. Thank you for watching. See us again in 2 weeks on twitch.tv/questsandqueers or youtube.com/questsandqueers or in the audio podcast Quests and Queers. We'll probably also be on all of the social media, and you can find links to that in the description of however you're watching us on. So, thank you. Please subscribe or follow or whatever the protocol is for the platform you're viewing this on. Thanks for watching, and have a good day. Keep questing, you queers.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Stronger together and other catchphrases.
Others together.
We put the gay in game.
Yeah.
I put the
I love that
me
one.
in game. I put the mega.
We're clear?
in game.
All right,
Okay.
clear.
Awesome.
Let's
Sweet.
start.
Man, that last